Alright. Sorry about that, guys. For whatever reason, Streamlabs has decided not to let my mic be heard. Now, the desktop audio actually was muted, but for whatever reason, my phone decided not to work for it. I just unplugged it and replugged it back in and it fixed itself. So, like I was saying, I'm here on the internet to read some shitty creepypastas. I hope they're shit. I've got one that's just called Alvin. I've got some lost episodes, so like Backyardigans and My Little Pony. I've got some stuff for Terraria. I've got some Christmassy stuff. And we are starting with the Threadbare virus. It was only a few days after the release of Five Nights 4 when it happened. I was checking scottgames.com, looking for a new teaser image. Sure enough, the image of Plushtrap was still there. Terrible things come in small packages. It hadn't changed. I hit refresh to see if there was a new image. As I pressed the button, the screen went blank. There's nothing on the screen at all. It was like the monitor was asleep. I moved my mouse to try and get it to react, but nothing happened. After what felt like an hour of waiting, I saw something flash by on the monitor. Something that looked a bit like Threadbare. I didn't get a good look at it. Immediately following the jump scare-ish thing was a blue screen. What the hell? I said to myself. I forced the computer to shut down, and I restarted it. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just screen share my browser. There are all kinds of 8s and 7s flashing by, almost like someone had hacked my computer. I could have sworn I saw Golden Freddy flash by a few times. I even heard I, T, S, M, E being spelled out on my speakers. I tried muting the sound, but it didn't work. It just made it louder. Some sort of swear word that's censored because it's on Steam. I tried opening Steam, but my screen said, "You can't," for about 2 seconds. Then out of nowhere, all of the icons on my desktop disappeared. Cycling bin, gone. FNAF 4, gone. Team Fortress 2, all gone. Even the taskbar disappeared. Everything went black. 5 minutes later, the screen was tinted red. Almost like the cat DOS from Spooky's House of Jumpscares. There were still hundreds of 8s and 7s flashing by, but there's one thing that was different. I didn't hear static anymore. I heard distorted church bells. Bong, bing, bing, bong. Bong, bing, bing, bong. Bong, 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 bong. 12 bells. I looked at the clock. Just as 12:60, it was midnight. That's... I don't know what this is meant to be. I'm assuming like bullshit based on the length, but it's censored because it's a name. That's bullshit, I said. It was 3:30 just a second ago. I looked at my monitor again. There was a single icon. It said SC877 Games. I was hesitant to click it because I wasn't sure what happened. Eventually I clicked it because why the hell not? I was nervous. It took a while to load. The window went full screen, and I saw something absolutely terrifying. It was a close-up of Fredbear's unholy face. I nearly screamed when I saw it. Mostly because all I heard in the background was Nightmare's jumpscare audio. That played for hours. For a few minutes I just sat there in fear. I was horrified. Eventually I asked myself, what's going on here? At that point I didn't think anything could be scarier. Why? Because Fredbear replied to me, "Keep telling yourself that this is in your head, boy." Fredbear said, "What? I'm sorry, but did you just say something?" "Indeed I did, mortal. I am not real, but not fake. I can hear every word you say. I am living yet unliving. For I am the Fredbear virus. You have been infected." Why are you doing this to me? Can't you find another guy and infect their computer? If only you knew. If only you knew the pain of being alive yet dead, but dead yet alive at the same time. It is painful. This is your nightmare. Accept it. With that, Fredbear jump scared me. I shut my computer down and went to bed thinking about what he had said. Dead yet alive. The next morning I was afraid to turn on my computer. I was afraid that Fredbear was waiting for me. I turned my computer on and I found a red screen. There are all kinds of weird source codes, 8s and 7s scattered everywhere. Fredbear Virus EXE, repeated multiple times, and a final message that read, "You can't escape death, whether it be at the hands of a killer, in the mouth of a beast, or in the comfort of a gurney. Death will find you. You have been warned." This computer will now shut down entirely. After that, my laptop shut down forever. It never reactivated. I tried recharging it, but it was a no-go. There was no going back. I will admit one thing. Whatever it was that had haunted my computer was right. There is no escaping death. Death will find us. But one thing I will never forget was that spine-chilling image of Fredbear. That was some spooky shit. Also, the part of the bells ringing is supposed to be the ambience bells from FNAF 4. I expected it to be better, for some reason. Something about it being on the Steam FNAF 4 discussions gave me hope that I probably shouldn't have had.
Well, Fredbear Virus, I really hope they don't.
Oh no, yeah, it was... I hesitate to mock these too hard, in case it's like some kid that worked on them.
I just don't mock them in general, but I'm more talking about Fredbear Virus is a little... For some reason, I can imagine something like that existing in the books.
God, that is some of the... I mean, they did they did Fazgoo, and they did the Sea Bunnies. So yeah, Fredbear Virus existing in the books, that checks out to me.
Thank you for that creepypasta, Xerneas, from Pokemon.
There is just some Mario creepypasta as well. Stream of the End. It's Minecraft, I think. Yeah, it's Minecraft. Estimated reading time 7 minutes.
I'm loading into the bin party.
Nice. The usual stories about Minecraft will always go to Herobrine, about how he lives and he's a lot more than code. But have you ever wondered about the Enderman, and whether there are any secrets about them? Everyone who has played Minecraft is well familiar with them by now. And while they can be hard to find in the overworld, many have visited their home in the end. Of course, they aren't hostile unless you look at them or attack them. For this reason, quite a few people consider them friendly and like them. Personally, I've always found them creepy and killed them whenever I could. They're based off of Slenderman, after all. While being as strong as they are, regular players know that if you run into one right after you spawn, you run for water. For some reason, Nush decided to cover them with fear of water. I never thought anything bad could happen with water, right? Well, water was the whole reason this mess started. Okay, then. I haven't even attempted to start up my game since then. I was playing on my regular world, a server that my friends and I had started. We had plenty of houses built, a seemingly unlimited supply of diamond and gold, and the end dragon was defeated. There really wasn't much to do in the world anymore, so I had to get very creative. My friends and I, we were creative enough, and we understood the game very well. Aaron was our redstone guy. If you needed anything powered, he found a way to build it and make it better than any tutorial could ever tell you. Myself, I made a majority of buildings and even started working on a city. We had a few guys who would work on supplies, planting and harvesting, anything that was needed. Lastly, we had Graham. He had all the magical stuff, potions, enchanting, and he had us build him a mob trap so he could get an outrageous amount of experience whenever he wanted to. Of course, we had randoms who would join, the occasional troll, and sometimes we would have someone new join our group as a regular. We'd all fought the Ender Dragon before, and we could do it fairly quick. Aaron and I, and the majority of the group, would take off Christos and Five Dragon. Graham, however, would stay underground working on potions for battle and have the rest to deliveries. I wasn't too fond of Enderman either. That's why I made us bring water buckets to the end. He stayed in the middle of water where the Enderman couldn't get him. That's where I got my whole idea from. One day, when I had nothing else to do, I decided to get on the server. It had been about 2 weeks since the Ender Dragon was beaten, and we hadn't really gone to the end since then. We had a little trap that was set up with torches and sand that would send anyone who walked onto it into the end, but it was mostly just to make them panic. It was a great idea of using the end to farm ender pearls. I was planning on using Graham's idea with buckets in order to do it, put on a massive scale. I had every intention of flooding the end. With help from Vent Editor with a /fly command, I started. Of course, this was the only time I was using such things, and I made sure our whole server was cheered. However, I was the only person on, and I figured everyone would have a good laugh out of the fact that I flooded home with the Enderman. As I started going, a good portion of floating around the big old home was filling up quickly. He didn't panic and teleport away every time they would get splashed, and the occasional scream from whoever decided to go swimming for too long. It's amusing how much determination to live a simple computer AI can give a being. As the rest of the island started to fill up, it became very crafty on my spawns. Many were going under the island on little edges, but as soon as I saw them, they were swept away from the water and fall into the void. I kept going until there was a little square in the centre, and the obsidian platform I spawned in on. We were pushing each other for what little precious space we had left, and one would fall off the platform into the water every few seconds. I made a few more trips around the island, filling up any spots I missed, and finishing off any stragglers that found a comfy spot to sit in. One even found a spot buried in the ground in a 4-tall tunnel, until I flooded him out. So it took till about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was happy I was able to finish by the night's end. After I was sure I had filled every dry spot up, I filled up the square in the centre. Many of the Endermen just swam until they heard a death scream as they fell, while a few of them managed to teleport to the platform. I tried to have a little fun at first, flooding the edges and watching them push each other into the water and off of the level. This left only 4. This just compelled me to get it over with in full centre, which I did, causing 3 of the 4 to fall off the platform. One remaining enderman stayed jumping in the centre, and slowly his health was being chipped away. Finally, he fell to the floor and screamed. But it wasn't the normal death scream I'd grown accustomed to during my trip. It was glitching, slowed down, then it would start over, skip, and drag out even more. Eventually, the rest became toxic, and I was unable to move. The sound repeated itself, as did his body falling to the floor. That is until Minecraft has run out of memory. Minecraft and graphics, as does Java. As many people do when something like that happens, I started both server and Minecraft again. I figured it was just a glitch due to the massive amount of water running and the loot that was on the ground from the enemy dying. Put my IP address in from multiplayer and click connect. Error, world not found. Shit. I thought, as I knew it would crash, as I knew it would crash with files. Luckily, I backed up the world right before we fought the dragon. I grabbed my external, copied all the files, loaded it right up. Even though I couldn't fix all that was lost, I figured I'd go back and fight the dragon again before bed. Thanks to Graham, I had armour and weapons for any enchantments possible. As well as potions that would last me years of battle. I get over to the portal, jump down the hole, and the end loads right up. However, something's wrong. As I look for the ender dragon, I see nothing in the air. The crystals are on the top, but no dragon feed off of him. I notice next to the endermen are gone as well. I get on the island, walk around a bit until eventually I'm here. I look up and see that the crystals are chaining to what I would presume to be the dragon. He was invisible, so the world just didn't know properly. Save, exit both programs, restart my computer, and get right back into it. The dragon is there, but the enderman is still absent. Easier fight, because I don't have to worry about looking in the wrong direction and having to water a pissed off enderman. 3 minutes later, shoot the last arrow into the dragon, and he floats up in the air. And the egg drops onto the fountain. I run over there so I can get out of the end, but no strange occurrence. The end portal that usually fills the fountain is now just the same texture as water. A book wouldn't pick it up like normal water though. This just led me to think my .jar file was corrupted, and I hop in. Eventually it functions just as normal end portal would, except I hear the death scream to the enderman again. Not just once, but over and over and over. The portal finally works, but it isn't what I expected. Black. Then Minecraft has run out of memory. I reinstall all the files, including the world, for another time. The game starts up without a hitch. Get back to the portal and hop in. This time it is not the end that awaits me. Instead, it seems like an endless room. I can still see, but it's just a faint glow around me. I walk forward, thinking of the end, and something like a potion of blindness is stopping me from seeing it. The faint globe of light is all I can see, and the only source of light in my room as well. The platform doesn't end in a few blocks though, and the obsidian continues, shattering my hopes of being in the end. The obsidian floor keeps going in all directions, so I follow a straight line. I walk, and the sounds start. My footsteps first, then the sound of blocks being placed. As I go forward, the faint sound of endermen begin, and increase, first just for normal grunts. Then, they sound as if they're agitated. The sounds become much more frequent. It gets louder, as if there was a whole horde chasing me but refused to catch me. I start to see the purple pixels as if they're teleporting themselves and me. Then it stops. A few seconds and steps later, one comes flying up the screen, and the death scream goes at full volume. This makes me literally jump and let go of the keyboard and mouse. Silence! It doesn't start up again until I move the mouse. One more sound, a light grunt, as if they're letting me know they're in the darkness. Just out of my sight, I go forward again, clicking my mouse, hoping to hit one of them or a wall or anything. The pattern starts over, the sounds, the pixels, and the scare. I didn't stop moving though, and neither did they. It continues. Escape. Alt F4, they don't have any function. Unplugging the computer is out of the question, as I refuse to risk my equipment. I keep going, hoping it ends. After about 3 minutes of cycle, it does. I teleported one last time, unable to move. The Enderman on the screen stares straight into my eyes. Water surrounds my character. And after 20 seconds, he begins to drown. You are dead. In the background, the Enderman still looks with his stoic appearance, not even flinching as much as an inch. 5 seconds later, the computer powers down without warning, and I'm left in the dark. The next day, I sent my friend a file for the world. We played the game without any flaws, gone to the end, even got a few pearls. I refused to. I don't even have files on my computer anymore. Did a complete wipe of the hard drive. Minecraft became more than a game that night. It's not more than a simple AI controlling a few entities. Definitely more than a glitch. These games and entities that form on our fears, they do much more than that. It's not more than just simple coding now. The Endermen, they do hold a glitch. They have a fear, and it's not something to taunt them with. They are aware, and they will make sure you become well aware of them and their presence. Credit to the Magic Marker. This has an 8.3 out of 10, so that's actually pretty well received. It's a lot more creative than most Minecraft stories. I'll give them credit for that. Yeah. I don't know if this really falls under the banner of haunted games. Although I suppose it could arguably be haunted by the Enderman.
I had too much McFlurry because my auntie stole what was meant to be mine accidentally, so she insisted that I get the right one.
Yeah.
So I had 2 McFlurries after
Nice.
an already large meal.
Here is Alvin. I was having a great day. I had a drink with my friends earlier, spent some time with my wife. Since I had some time off, I decided to watch a movie. I was skimming through all the channels, HBO, Stars, Max. I then saw Alvin and the Chipmunks on Cinemax. I remember as a child really liking the movie for some reason, though all it said in the description was a bunch of random gibberish. I thought it was just a system error. I pressed play and it went there. There was a dark, black screen. Couldn't have been messed up, wasn't a power outage, and I had bought the channel for sure. I remember people installing it 3 days ago. Finally it started up. This was a movie that came out in 2007. When I loaded it up, it just started with a screen that said Alvin. That's when things started to get a little strange. It started off with the Chipmunks. They weren't singing. They were mouthing some sort of words, and it was really creepy because their eyes were completely white, and they were just staring. Then their eyes started to bleed, and it wasn't the crappy, low CGI blood you see in video games or such, no. It was as if you could touch it and feel it. Then all you could hear was people shouting really loudly. I decided it was sure as hell not the same thing that all they could know. So I tried to change it, but it wouldn't change. The remote was dead, which was odd, because we put new batteries in it a day ago. I wasn't yours in, nothing. I tried unplugging the television, nothing. There were still mouthing words, bleeding eyes, people shouting. I had no choice but to watch. Thankfully it stopped. Then it came back to the normal movie. Except it started off with Dave on his couch. We was watching a man stab a woman repeatedly. Then, instead of when Alvin and the others hide in the cabinets, he climbs in through the window and grabs one of his knives. He showed a close-up frame of him. He was mauled, white eyes, and was bleeding very realistic blood. Came over to Dave and took the knife and jammed it right into Dave's skull. He was stabbing him and wouldn't stop. Then, Alvin just started eating him. He took out his claws and starting with his head, just stabbed it and took out one of his eyeballs. He was eating it and the noise was so realistic. Then Claire came in and said, "Hey Dave, I've got my keys here yesterday. I'll just be..." She looked at Alvin. Alvin smiled, a very gruesome, teethy smile, extended his claws. Claire tried opening the door, but it was locked from the outside and all the windows were locked too. Alvin went to Claire. I heard a music that sounded like a mix between screaming and gunshots. I didn't see it, thankfully, but you could hear Alvin laugh. It was devilish, but not deep. Then I saw a scene of Claire's eyeballs taken out of her skull. Her brain was next to her, and her skull had a large knife stuck in it. Then I saw the screen fade black, and it said, "Dinner's served." Black screen. It stood there for 10 minutes at most. Then I saw Simon and Theodore in their tree. They were sleeping very peacefully, and they were snoring musical notes. I could see Alvin in the distance, one random flash of thunder. He was right behind them. Black screen for 10 seconds. After that, you could hear the poor little screams. It was terrible. It was louder than a train, jet, and car smashing against the ground at the same time. I covered my ears, and hard as I could. No use. "For God's sake!" I yelled. I then saw a frame of Theodore's skull twisted the other direction and his limbs sticking out. had a giant hole in his chest. Then Simon's glasses were bent, and there was blood all over him. Simon's body had his head chopped off, and his legs and bottom torso were missing. Then I saw Alvin suddenly pop up on the screen and laughed. It then ended normally, with the normal credits, and then started playing the movie Cars. I didn't dare try to call the channel service for fear of what I had just seen. I would never watch the movie again. How do you write all of that and then end it with... It ended normally with normal credits, and then Cars started playing. This is originally on Kyoshi's Lost Episodes wiki, which is interesting. I wasn't familiar with that one at any point. Which one's this? Oh, this is ZAI. Journey's End from the Terraria Creepypasta fandom. I was linked this one, like, it was posted in a server I was in 2 years ago, I want to say. And I just never got around to reading it. Then, let's got a couple of us, FNAF Zero. Backyardigans cut episode. There's actually been some news regarding the lost pilot to Backyardigans recently. Which is why I grabbed this one. Does anyone remember the show, The Backyardigans? No, I never watched it.
Same.
Do you know if Charlie watched it? Yeah, do you know if she watched Backyardigans at any point?
I believe she didn't.
I think someone in our
Actually,
server did, but I don't know who.
Maybe we did when we were younger. I don't know. Mum seems to remember it.
Well, I'm assuming one of you must have watched it then, because I don't think she'd just watch it on her
Maybe
own.
we didn't. I forgot because it just seemed like such a universal experience.
Well, I never watched it. I thought it was weird, and I think I actually stopped watching that channel.
Rather than that interesting thing that happens with kids where sometimes someone unknowingly takes on another person's memory.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the case of I lost a memory because I felt like it was other people's.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Does anyone remember the show The Backyardigans? For anyone who hasn't heard of it, it's about 5 animal children going on adventures in their backyard together. My favourite season was season 1, despite how oval-shaped Austin's head is. Austin Backyardigans. Do you really need to complain about his head being so oval? There was a good episode of Backyardigans, which sadly was an entirely scrapped Halloween special. Janice Burgess, or whatever, the creator of the show, told me about it. And being a nice person, Janice herself is, she showed me a DVD of title card. Well, not really a title card, because the show doesn't have them, but actually it's a title outline, if I'm thinking correctly. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, the title outline showed Tyrone, also known as my favourite character, holding a knife that was covered in blood. For some reason, his antlers were covered in blood too. For the name of the episode, Tyrone's Revenge. Janice Burgess gave me a DVD cover and disc containing the episode. Once I got home, I put the DVD in the DVD player, and the thumbnail was the title outline, which I can't recall what it is. I got the title outline, despite the show doesn't have title cards. Anyway, I'll just cut to the episode. I hate when creepypasta authors do this shit, where they just go on a tangent that's like unrelated to the story. I don't need to know that you don't know what, if it's a title card or title outline or whatever. just say it's like a bit of like an image, a screenshot. Just call it one of those. Anyways, I'll just cut to the episode. The DVD opening
This is meant to make it
started.
more convincing that it's a real person.
Well, yeah, it is meant to make it more convincing if it's a real person, but it feels very forced to me. Okay, well, the DVD opening started with the Nick Jr. Frogs logo, with a little frog throw up on the big frog. And it went straight to the DVD menu, and I just clicked play, and I don't know why every single word, but like the first part of this sentence is capitalized. And the episode started with a season 1 intro. I always liked the part with the montages of old episodes. Once the intro was completed, if I am thinking correctly, the title outline popped up in an entirety of the backyard as the camera slowly zoomed into the backyard. It's one of those sequences you would normally see in the show. The title outline or something along those lines is the same exact one that Janice Burgess showed to me earlier. The episode started with both backyardigans, with the exception of Tyrone for some odd reason, dressed up for Halloween. Austin was dressed up as a zombie, Pablo was dressed up as a ghost, which he was a ghost in the episode. It's great to be a ghost. Uniqua was dressed up as a bat, and Tasha was dressed up as a vampire. Where's Tyrone at? Pablo asked as he looks around. I mean, his house isn't really that far away. Pablo said, changing the subject. Just as Pablo said those words, camera panned over to Tyrone's house. Tyrone was jealous with a butcher knife in his hand. I am a draw, Tyrone said, preparing his nerve. What? Oh, I am a drawer? He got a saw from the basement, from inside his house, which he just didn't mention. Tyrone starts murdering and killing zombie Timmy all in a... While the characters started to go to the workstation, the backyardigans was running over the zombies. Well, hold on. Have I missed a bit here? Okay. Austin was dressed up as a zombie. Pablo was dressed up as a ghost. Uniqua was dressed as a bat. Tasha was dressed as a vampire. Tyrone's in his house, jealous, with a butcher knife. No explanation why he's jealous. He says, I am a draw to preparing his nerve. He grabs a saw from the basement. And then he starts murdering and killing zombie Timmy. Oh, Timmy. Is there a Timmy in the backyardigans? I don't think there is a Timmy in the backyardigans. Where do the zombies come from?
Same place Timmy comes from.
I mean, presumably, yes. All in a while, the characters started to go to the workstation. The backyardigans was running over the zombies. They were singing Get Back by Ludacris.
Lovely.
Is this a... When was this song? 2004. So I suppose it could be... Feasibly, if they wanted to, they could have put Get Back by Ludacris on a Backyardigans episode. I could have described what Tyrone did in this sequence, except I don't want your childhood to be ripped to shreds, so sadly I missed the opportunity to do such. Tyrone crushed Pablo, as Pablo was now a skinned corpse covered in blood. Okay, when did Tyrone meet with Pablo, who, what's Pablo dressed as again? Pablo's dressed as a ghost. As the Tyrone crushed Pablo, Pablo's now a skinned corpse covered in blood, and the backyardigans are being chased by Squidward. By Squidward tentacles, as in like from SpongeBob, of all things. As he was at the final line of workstation, oh no, yelled Uniqua. We're at the roof deck off the coal room, which means we're trapped. Then they fall into the backyard. Then the backyardigans got up from the ground. Good night, everybody, the backyardigans said when the Super Mario World Game Over music plays. Then the episode ended with the camera zooming out of the tablet. And also I can hear a faint voice whispering, good night, mood movers, with the credits. To be honest, all that murder, blood, and gore was the reason why the episode was scrapped entirely in the first place. And the DVD disc popped out of the DVD player, and I honestly did not know what inspired him to put in a song by Ludacris in that episode. And yes, the song is 100% real. But I had my childhood betrayed shortly after witnessing that episode, and there is a screenshot of a empty hall.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of that one. Well, FNAF 0 now. This creepypasta is not real. And is just made up. And is different from the other creepypastas on this wiki. So please, do not try typing in scottgames.com/offline.exe to see if it works. Because it doesn't. Unlike the other creepypastas on the wiki, which are similar to fanfictions, as they are backstories or others. This creepypasta is about an unreleased FNAF game, so please don't judge me. Obviously it's not real, but because they said not to try it and told me it doesn't work, I'm going to try it now. This creepypasta is not real and is just made up and is different from the creepypastas on the wiki. Does this mean they think the other creepypastas are real? Because that's what that reads like to me. And obviously that's not the case. But do they know that that's not the case? I don't know. You probably know a horror game franchise called Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Well, there was rumored to be an unreleased game, which was claimed to be the first Five Nights at Freddy's game in the franchise back in 2013. It's believed that Scott wanted to make a real horror game, unlike the other ones, and like the other horror games like Slender, Amnesia, and Outlast. But he realised what mistake he made and stopped. The time I found the download and played it was in December 13th, 2014, while I was messing around with Inspect Elements in Scott's website. I decided to type scottgames.com/offline.exe for some random reason, but I pressed enter. A download appeared titled Five Nights at Freddy's 0. I was confused by why Scott would have downloaded such a random link, but I was pretty proud of myself for the first discovery. When I clicked on it, it took me to a menu which was the same menu as Five Nights at Freddy's 1, but the version 0.31 was gone and the Scott Coffin 2014, and the title was replaced with Scott Coffin 2013 and Five Nights at Freddy's 0. I hit new game. It didn't take me to an intro with a newspaper stating that Freddy Fazbear's feature needs a new night guard. In fact, it just skipped straight to the game. I need to log in if I want to see the files that are included. Okay, fine. I'm not going to do that. The security office didn't look very interesting. A great blank wall with no posters, a hallway in the middle, and a table with a puppet plushie which seemed riveted with a cracked mask, blood running from the eye holes and organs bursting from the chest. Hold up. Okay, so this is about a month after FNAF 2's release that I found this. Blood. Right, yeah. Blood running from the eye holes and organs bursting from the chest. Then there was a phone call. Hello? Hello? Well, if you're hearing this, the chances are death will come for you. You made a poor career choice. Death will come for you? What kind of employee would say that? I decided to open the camera. I realised there was only two cameras, Cam08 and Cam-6. I flipped to Cam08 to find that Golden Freddy was standing in what appears to be a child's bedroom with a realistic baby in a crib behind him, crying. The strange thing about Golden Freddy is that his jaw was missing and he had bloodshot eyes. I switched to Cam-6, which had no signal. I checked for whole night to find Golden Freddy again with no jaw, but now with blank soulless eyes. I tried to close the door, finding out if the door button wouldn't work because it looked like blood was spilled on it. Of course it wouldn't work. Why would a door button covered in blood work anyways? I checked for all night once more to see if Golden Freddy was gone. When I checked it, it went black for a second. Then it went back to normal except the door was absent. The puppet's purple tears and lipsticks were gone, as if they were washed off. Over in this one paragraph, which is a hell of a long paragraph, we get a realistic crying baby, Golden Freddy associated with a realistic crying baby, with the jaw missing. Did this predict the bite of 83? I checked the cameras again. This time, there was a new camera, Cam 0. I checked Cam 0, finding that it was a non-8-bit recreation ending of FNAF 3 where Purple Man gets killed inside Springtrap, but not 3D rendered. In fact, it looked like as if it had happened in real life. In fact, the ghosts of the 5 children looked like if they burned alive. That was when I heard a scream. In fact, it sounded very realistic. I actually jumped out of my seat. This guy loves saying in fact. Like every other sentence starts with in fact. I scrambled around my feet and checked Cam8. When I checked, something was different. The baby that was in the crib was absent. Golden Freddy was soaked in blood. Blood drained from my face and was filled with dread. Dread that Golden Freddy would look at me. So I quickly switched to Cam-6. I'm like, Golden Freddy ate a child. Golden Freddy ate the baby. Because of course he did. Golden Freddy ate the baby. When I saw Cam-6, I was horrified. What I saw was a picture of a child inside an abandoned Freddy Fazbear's pizza, lying down with the same details as the puppy of the cracked open head, bleeding eye sockets and organs bursting from the chest. But unlike the puppet plushie, other organs were spilling out of the mouth, and behind him were 2 legs with purple pants on that were covered in blood, possibly the Purple Man. I almost vomited at that point. So I closed down the monitor, only triggering Golden Freddy's jump scare, not the same one Golden Freddy would use in this version. Golden Freddy actually had teeth showing, like the poster of Golden Freddy you would see very rarely, including that slowed down version of a screen for 1 second before my computer crashed and went blue screen. At that point, when I saw from the corner of my eye what looked like a bloody, jawless Golden Freddy. I quickly looked at where he was standing, but I saw nothing. I looked back at my computer screen, which was still on the B-sod. I tried restarting, but I got the same blue screen, meaning I had to reboot my computer. This time, booted up as normal. That's when I got to the Windows 7 startup sound. In the middle of that, the same Golden Freddy jump scare appeared. But unlike that other one, it didn't cause my computer to go blue screen. In fact, it stayed even after the screen. I tried shutting down my computer by holding down the power button, but it didn't work. I waited for it to end. It stayed for 2 minutes. Then, it finally went to my desktop. This time there was a notepad on my desktop. It had no name. I opened it up only to find that it said, "Can you guess who I am?" Blood drained from my face. I deleted the text file and emptied my recycle bin. Last night, when I was about to enter my bedroom, I saw the same figure running through a hallway. So that was CreepyPasta. There's also Eclipse. It had been 2 months after the incident when I played FNAF 0. I typed in scottgames.com/offline.exe again to see if it still worked or not, but only took me to a page with a white background and black texts, saying this page is no longer available, as it will give you a download that will harm your computer. My final conclusion was that Scott's website was hacked by a person with a sick, twisted mind, and added the download link, and that Scott later found out and deleted it before he was finding it and blaming it on him. 2 weeks later, I received an email from an unknown person. I clicked on it. I found out that it only had 3 words. It was me. That's a lot of dedication from whoever hacked Scott Games to wait a full 2 months to answer the "can you guess who I am" question. There's no date on this. I suppose I could check the edit history. Oh, so this was created in this year, 5th of April 2024, by a user test123213213 with the comment about this being some old crap credited to Dice Poke, originally Spy versus Spy, but no, because that's not Dice Poke sending it, it's test123213213. Okay, that's a weird edit history. I don't know why they put this at the top. Unless it's like copying it from a different wiki, but there's no note for that. This one sounded quite interesting, actually. You wouldn't download a Pocket Monster. I'll start with the office note. So I'm a bit new to writing. I wrote a couple of short stories and fanfics, and in my opinion, they're pretty decent. I have been silently following this niche community since 2017. Recently we discovered it and wanted to try it out, as I thought it'd be good practice. As I said, writing is a hobby I only discovered recently. I never tried writing horror, so here goes nothing. Feel free to leave comments and criticism, and don't be afraid to downright tell me the story sucks, but please, be respectful about you. Apologies if some parts are cliche or don't make sense. My dad obeys the law, for the most part. Pays his taxes, reports criminal activity, and is overall a good guy who follows the rules. Sometimes, though, he'd download games and cartoons for me. He didn't only do this, though. He'd actually buy them sometimes. Sometimes, when he didn't feel like paying or it was expensive, he'd do this instead. He had a flash drive full of this stuff. One summer evening, I was watching TV when he called me downstairs. When I went to check it out, he had 2 packages from Amazon with him. I completely forgot I got these for you yesterday. I want you to open them with me. He and I opened packages with a pair of scissors, and the first one was a Nintendo DS. And the other package had an R4 card. He had a card number and explained with just this, you can play almost any game you want. He set everything up, and I went for a folder on his computer and has a bunch of ROMs. Picked out the games I wanted, he loaded them up on the card. One of those games was Pokemon Pearl. I'd never played the game, so I definitely enjoyed the show, so I wanted to try it out. We were done loading the games up after a while, and Dad told me I'd actually start them, but it was late at night, so I didn't play yet. I was woken up the next day by my mom, who told me Dad was taking us somewhere, a doctor's appointment or something. She gave me a phone, told me to call Dad if I needed to talk to him. She left, I decided to go ahead and play one of my new games. I started Pokemon Pearl first, it was the game I was most excited for. Immediately, I am greeted with an ear-grating noise that prompted me to turn the volume of the DS off. It sounded like a bunch of distorted music overlapping each other. I recognised battle music among them, but that was it. The game was playing normally despite this, so I figured the audio was just broken. I press start, and a man in a brown coat greets me. I notice his skin's a little pinkish. It would probably be hardly noticeable to anyone else, but I noticed it right away. I've always been the type of person to immediately spot details like this. I remember joking. He was sunburned. He tells me the world is inhabited by Pokemon. He shows me a Pokeball and tells me to switch center. A cute little munchlax hopped out and sat next to Rowan. Continues on about what Pokemon means to people and what they mean to him. He asked me to tell him about myself. Chose a girl, for obvious reasons. I named her Ali, which is my name too, and I gave the blonde-haired boy one of the default names because I ran out of ideas. Ralph, I think. Rowan let me go to start my Pokemon journey, but not before telling me this. By the way, you may be playing a stolen copy of this game. It may have been modified, so you might encounter issues that wouldn't happen otherwise. You'd think I'd have been scared, but no, messages like this were in a handful of games I had at the time, so I was used to it. And so it begins. I heard something about Red Gyarados, how it disappeared. My character was watching TV in a bedroom. I went downstairs, and the woman there took notice of me and made her way over. My mom? I was instructed to go to Ralph's house. She warned me about Pokemon before I left. I explored Pinleaf Town until my character bumped into him. He mentions going to a lake, then goes into his house because he forgot something. I followed him inside, and apparently he's dragging me into this too. I'll spare the long details. We used Piffle and Turtwig inside the press suitcase to defend ourselves against two wild starlight. Black-haired boy with red cap returned to bring the suitcase back. We found it empty. Now he knows what we did. I'll forgive you for now, he said to Ralph, then walked to my character. But you have no excuse. I'll make sure you're punished. He left. I was ticked at Ralph. It was his idea, but I'm the one who's getting punished. We went left to return for Pokemon to Rowan. He spoke to us and returned to his lab, and Lucas followed him, but not before telling us to go visit the lab. Later, I make my way to the lab and talk to Rowan. Go ahead and take off Piplup. After all, you've taken everything else. Whatever. Gives me Pokedex as well. Lucas calls me through the town. I speak with my mom, deliver the parcel to Ralph. More stuff, and I am officially ready to begin my journey. I caught the first two members of my team, Stanley and Bidoof. At some point, I stopped getting vague messages from NPCs, but I did start noticing what seemed like glitches. For example, after a third gym, I just stopped receiving money from trainer battles. Thankfully, I had a lot, so I was able to keep buying Pokeballs, potions, and the like. At least I thought so, but for some reason, the employees behind the Pokemon account decided to ban me. I had plenty of Pokeballs already, so I had to rely on the Pokemon Center to heal my guys. I started saving before I went inside the Pokemon Centers, though, because sometimes the game would teleport me behind the counter with Nurse Joy, only sometimes, thankfully. I had to start saving frequently, though, because the game would start randomly teleporting me out of bounds areas that I couldn't escape from. One day I was out of potions. I entered the Pokemon League and was about to heal my Mons, but Nurse Joy pulled a Pokemon and refused to do so. I guess my playthrough became an ultra-hard Nuzlocke at that point. If Pokemon fainted, it was dead forever. I could still use the box, so I guess it wasn't too bad. Aaron was a cakewalk. Napoleon took care of his team. Same Bertha for Quagsire was a little scary. Flynn's team was so pathetic, I wonder why he even bothered showing up. After a particularly tough battle with Lucian, my current team had little HP and 3 of them were dead. What is Flynn's team? Because I can't remember his team. Was it that bad?
Flynn's not the fire guy, is he?
I think he is.
He's the fire guy in Sinnoh, so
Yeah.
he's probably going to be the easiest, if anything.
Oh, his team was like... He had 2 fire types, and then he was just making it up for the rest of them. Like, he has... what was it? I'm going to check what it was, because I remember it being god-awful. Okay. So he has Rapidash. He has Infernape, because it's literally the only other fire type you can get in the region. And then he just has a Steelix, a Drifblim, and a Lopunny. After a particularly tough battle with Lucian, my current team had little HP, and 3 of them were dead. I almost considered giving up, but we've made it this far. I made it, Cynthia. You made it! After all you've went through, I expected you to give up. But you're standing in front of me. I'm impressed. You've taken several things from us to get to this point. We did all we could to stop you, but your selfish desires led you here. This ends now. The battle begins. Our infamous Garchomp was the first Pokemon for some reason. I sent out my Empoleon. Instead of what will Empoleon do, the text read, Empoleon looks like it's crying. Choose wisely. Stalling, I chose back. There's nothing there, remember? Continuing to stall, I chose run. You didn't when you had the chance. Why try that now? I guess it was time to nip this in the bud. I attacked Garchomp, but all attacks missed. He used Giga Impact. Empoleon died. I sent out Lopunny. Giga Impact. Lopunny died. I sent out Palkia. You already know. The battle's over. The screen returned to Cynthia and my character in the overworld. Leave now and never return. It faded black. I teleported back to my house in Twin Leaf, but Mom isn't there. In fact, when I left the house, nobody was there. I walked a little bit more and found Professor Rowan. My character walked over to him on her own. What have you done? Countless innocent creatures killed so you could play a free game. I warned you that something like this would happen. You should have stopped playing as soon as I told you. This world is shattered because of you. You committed a crime. You are going to jail. The game crashed and I couldn't play it anymore. I got my dad to delete off the App card and didn't dare try to play a Pokemon game after that. Over the years, I realised I probably played a ROM hack, not an official game. I couldn't find any information about it online, so I made my own forum post on some website and got a response a couple of hours later. Became good friends with the creator of ROM hack. It's made as a what if Nintendo punished pirates pirating Pokemon games. It was originally private, but we posted it onto their fan site to see if anyone would believe it was real. Needless to say, sure fooled me. For fun, I decided to track down a real and edited ROM of Pokemon Pearl to see what the real game would be like. I got the ROM, an emulator, and started it up. Immediately I am greeted with an ear-grating noise that prompted me to turn the volume on my computer off. Damn, the Pokemon Pearl soundtrack that bad, huh? I know Gen 4 is not the best, but it's not that awful. Oh, yeah. I did think when we got to like the Cynthia fight, that sounds like it could be a decent ROM hack if someone just made it as like a laugh. And then it reveals that someone made it as a laugh. And then it reveals that actually no, because they got a legitimate ROM and agreed to try the same stuff. So, yeah. Female beta character. And we've got an image. Not the best quality. I'll open it in a new tab, see if it's... Oh, I can count pixels on that. Do you know who I am? You probably don't, but I'm a Pokemon beta female character. No, not green. I'm the beta character for Pokemon Crystal. I honestly don't know what my name is, but I sort of know what I look like. Long pigtails and some sort of dress or overalls and dress shoes, sort of like Chris. Chris has already started her adventure. I honestly don't think I'm made to be on a journey anyway, that's why I was scrapped. But still, I wish I could be on an adventure. It would be so much fun. Even if I want to go on an adventure. Everyone would hate me. They'd make fun of me for how I look, or maybe because of someone else. I honestly don't know. I'm proud of Chris. I bet she's working so hard right now. And she was made to go on an adventure, and someday I'll see her again when two new people go on an adventure. Apparently somewhere else. Maybe it might continue forever. Two new people and two more new people. But I wish that maybe the people who have forgotten could relive an adventure just one more time. Maybe they'll give me another chance. But just in case. Do you know a good name for me? I don't have one. Maybe I might use it in the future. Lyra? That's a pretty name. Short. Kinda neat, I suppose. Cannot complain. I mean, it's a creative idea, I suppose. I never really made the connection between the beta character and Lyra at any point. I think they are pretty different. But it's a neat idea. Right. There's one here just called the Mario Creepypasta. I was a 5-year-old boy at the time. And I always carried around my Game Boy Advance SP everywhere at the time. God fucking damn it.
Could barely afford gold.
I wonder what colour the Game Boy Advance SP is. Before you read the story, I want to tell you this is a combination of real and fake events that happened to me. Good start. I was finally moving back to Canada after 3 years living in another third world country away from friends and relatives. Planes were awful and I had a huge waiting time for every plane my family went on. Thank God I had my Game Boy Advance SP Blue Edition with me. My Game Boy Advance SP Blue Edition and I were best friends. We would play all day with the collection of Mario games I had. I always wanted my original Mario game back, though. It's the first Mario game ever made, and was made for the original Game Boy. But before I had my Advance, I had a Game Boy Color I used to play on. It went missing when my sister and I were in a fight back in the country I was in. She threw it under a small crack beneath the TV stand, which is almost impossible to move since it was huge. Now, back to the airport. I played the Game Boy sparingly because of the battery life. As soon as we went... as soon as we went to the first airport in Canada, we went to a hotel in Toronto. Toronto wasn't our destination. When my family and I went to the front desk, I noticed a box with a piece of duct tape with words "Open Me" written on it. This somehow caught my attention out of anything else. The amazing decor didn't even catch my attention in the slightest bit, nor did the amazing and expensive furniture. My head was only turned to the box the second I stepped in. The guy at the front desk noticed me looking at the box and asked my parents if he could tell me something. They confusedly agreed. Big man in the red suit whispered aggressively to me, "Don't open the box. If you do, there will be consequences." Wait, Santa Claus? "Don't open the box. If you do, there will be consequences." I was so focused on the box that I barely even heard what he said. I only managed to remember, "Don't open." My dad picked me up and took me to the room. As soon as the box could not be seen in my line of sight anymore, I suddenly shook my head quickly as recovering from dizziness. I couldn't remember being dizzy, but I knew I was. The hotel, first one I've been to, by the way, I just kept thinking about the box. I just wanted to see the box again. The cardboard was all I was thinking about that day. I even begged my parents to let me go downstairs, but they always said no. For some reason I couldn't talk about the box, not from fear, but when I tried to say anything about the box, it felt like something was blocking my thought from making any sound. That night I slept quickly, but I had a dream about the box. I wasn't doing anything. The dream was just a picture of the box, still and quiet for 20 seconds. The dream ended, and I woke up breathless. Everything was pitch black. There was an electric clock saying 3 a.m, glowing in red. I got up full of energy, and had only one thing on my mind. The box. I got up and somehow found the key to the room. Put it in my pocket, and left the room so quietly and fast, I can't even do anything like that now, as a 13-year-old. Okay, so we're getting a bit of lore here, right? We were a 5-year-old at the time. They'd been living for 3 years in a third world country somewhere, if they don't specify, and then moved to Canada. So they lived in a third world country, moved to, and they moved back to Canada. So they were born in Canada. And then 8 years later, they're writing this. I went downstairs to the lobby barefoot and in pajamas and seen an empty and dark front desk. The box wasn't there, but somehow I knew it was in the drawer. I quietly opened it and stashed the box and ran upstairs as fast as I could. Stopped the key to the room, got back in as quickly as I could. On the table in the room there was a lamp light. I opened it and grabbed a chair, sat down and put the box on the table. I slowly opened it and looked inside. What I seen made my pupils grow. A Game Boy game with its sticker ripped off. It was a Game Boy Advance game. My Game Boy to the lowest level possible. Put the game in and turned on the Game Boy. The usual screen showed and took a few seconds to get started. First thing I seen was a black screen with white words. "Go hide. He's coming." Written in white. I thought to myself, is my Game Boy talking to me? I heard footsteps outside getting louder by the second. I turned the Game Boy off, flipped the game out, stuffed the game in my pants, threw the cardboard box and when it was covered, jumped in bed as quickly as I could. I closed my eyes, had our door open. Found the desk I seen yesterday. I closed my eyes in fear and somehow fell asleep like that. The next morning, I woke up before anyone else did. It was 5 a.m. and something in my pants was bothering me. I took a piece of plastic out of my pants and glared straight into it, realising that wasn't a dream. I got up, looked right for my Game Boy, got it and put the game in. Started up the usual screen saying "Game Boy." It showed up with the sound of pure happiness. I don't know why I did the Sega but Game Boy instead. This time, after the screen turned black, it said, "You want to play?" Didn't have a yes or no option, so I just thought to myself, yes, familiar asking pot to my groups of joy. "It's Mario," I thought to myself. But I also remembered this is the original Mario. It was a Game Boy Advance game. There was no such thing as a Game Boy Advance when this game came out. I was going to cut to a black screen again, and this time it said, "Why'd you question me?" Was my Game Boy reading my mind? I got scared and simply on off switch off. My Game Boy didn't turn off. The words vanished from the screen and said, "I thought I was your best friend. Why are you scared?" I said out loud, "I'm scared because Game Boys aren't supposed to do that. I just wanted to play Mario." I thought the Game Boy would just let me play when I said that, but it became more aggressive. "Too bad. You don't get to play Mario. You'll play my game." I quickly retrieved the game, put it in the drawer for the box was in, and jumped into bed. That whole day I was thinking about the game and how evil I thought it was. It's 8 years now, and when I got home that day, most of my games went missing. I was looking in the furnace, storage room, travel bag, we sat at a garage sale and seen only one. I opened it to check if anything was inside, and found a little Game Boy Advance game with no label. 8 years passed by, so I couldn't remember it. But you wrote that first part about you being 5 years old 8 years ago. So clearly you do remember it. I got the travel bag and put the game in my pocket. When I had the free time, I looked for my old Game Boy, which I would never play anymore, because I got much more electronics like an iPod Touch and like 2 DS's. I blew it into the cartridge into the Game Boy slot and smashed the game in there without the normal opening screen coming and running back to me saying, I've been waiting long. Will you play my game? I couldn't remember the hotel and what happened. I ripped off the game and tried selling it in the garage sale my mum put up. Nobody bought it. I got a piece of duct tape and put it on there and wrote Mario in black marker. I got a piece of paper and wrote, I'm sorry if it happens to you. Folded it around the game and tried to sell it on eBay. Hey reader, hope you liked my story. I want to save a part where my sister threw my Mario game under the TV stand is real. I'm going back to my country on May 2012 and I'm going to try and get the game. I'm coming back in the end of July and I'm actually going to try and sell it on eBay if it still works. The original Mario. Don't worry, it's not haunted. Smiley face. Thanks for reading. Credited to Dreamer with a 3. Have you had any weird dreams lately? Maybe about a box? I don't think I've ever had any dreams about the box. Or a box, I should say, not that specific box. That's a weird thing to dream about. The Gabagool Waker! The Sopranos, Road to Respect. It was the first video game that I ever played, but I gave on it when I got to the Night Horse Casino and never played the game since. Unfortunately for me, I lost the game after I was arrested due to mad kush possession, but about 20 years in the can ago, I thought I should give it a try. So I went to my local EB Games, but they didn't have it. They did, however, have Call of Duty Advanced Warfare for the Xbox One, but all I have is my PS2 and Call of Duty's Finest Hour. No, I'm not broke. I'm something of a purist, and the fact that I didn't have a copy of The Sopranos, Road to Respect, made me severely depressed. Because I went to every store that sells game, and they all say they don't have it, which really fucking sucks. This game was one of my childhood favourites, and it means a ton to me. The sadness of this revelation is unbearable, and I feel as if I no longer have any will to live. If these walls could talk, they'd probably still ignore me. Then about a week ago, or so later, me and my pal went to a local garage sale 666 hours away from our house, while he was looking for junk, scrap metal, sprockets, elbow grease, and Mary Jane. I went to the miniature human beings section, and then saw it. A black box with a label saying for Gabagool Waker. I grabbed it, popped the box open, and examined the disc. It had a small piece of scratch paper torn from a scrapbook where the instruction manual would normally be. And in the slot where a disc would be contained was that disc. The only disc I'd ever need. There it was, shining brightly as the sun reflected its glare into my vision from the pristine edges of the disc like an angel's halo. For Sopranos, Road to Respect. Fuck yes! I finally found this masterpiece, just as beautiful as the day I lost it. I quickly hobbled over to the person selling it like a paraplegic gremlin on crack and asked how many shekels I'd have to give him for the brilliant design of well-received PS2 classic hit. He said, please take it, please, I'll give it to you for free. I do not want this. I can't handle this anymore. It's too much. That made me a teensy-weensy little bit skeptical, mayhaps. But I didn't really care, so I took his offer, perchance. When we made it back to the echo chamber, I ran over to my PS2, full on fucking ran, dude. I need to play this game again so bad. when I finally made it to my PS2, I ran for about 90 kilometers. I inserted a disc into my trusty games console and fired that bitch up. I got a nostalgic feeling in my booty hole when it booted up. It's game time. When I got to the house, I noticed a couple of free things were off. First off, there wasn't any woke up this morning by Alabama free BGM or New Jersey traffic. Secondly, the sky was African American, and lastly, the creepiest, most disturbing gaming thing ever. And the title said, The Gabagool Waker. There was also an image of Tony Soprano in the background with hyper-realistic Rojo pinpoint pupils and red oil dripping from his eye sockets. He also appeared to be showing how that prick's face looked when he saw the gyat. It made me wonder, did the guy's kid hack it or something? And on a serious note, has anyone ever actually modded The Sopranos with all due respect? But I wanted to play it, so I pressed the start button. How long is this? Has someone went and control like F to find and replaced every instance of black with African American? Why? No, because there's everything was fine until I got to the part where Tony's sister Janice gets kidnapped. Tony was to jump and Carmela would catch him, but she didn't. Tony fell, and right before he hit the rock, the screen cut to a Negro y Azul gradient for 33.333 million milliseconds. Then it was at the scene where you met the ghost of Bon Pensiero, except he was dressed in a red and black skin-tight devil costume while wearing a headband with bright red long and sharp devil horns and had an evil, scary grin, a long, skinny, villainous beard and mustache, and a red, long, pointy, four-pronged pitchfork with a fat piece of gabagool stuck on the end of it. He spoke to Tony and said, "Hey, Tony, I'm real sorry for what happened to me. This thing of ours, you and your sister. I'm the ghost of Bon Pensiero." Then I noticed Tony. His clothes were black. His skin as hyper-realistically pale as the hyper-realistic moon. And he seemed exceedingly depressed, default expression, with blood on his face and arms and legs and knees and toes. He continued, "You must make that bitch that killed you pay, and that bird too. Take this instrument of death and make them suffer." Then I got the Gabagool Waker. There was no description. Then he said he needs a spliff to whiff. I went out and saw it was night time, but it was pitchy African American with no stars, but for some reason it's an acronym. I noticed the NPCs were looking at me seductively, yet strangely, like they were scared and horny. I tried to talk to them, but they were saying nothing. Yell and run away or clean their undies. I went to a salesman with enough moolah, but he wouldn't sell to me. I couldn't use the Waker for whatever reason. I targeted the salesman, then I could use it. So I did. I was thinking about African American, and I heard a scream. Then I got the spliff. But when I looked at the salesman, his head was on the table. Dead. Space. I screamed about what happened, then go back to playing. I left most of this unedited because I have no idea how to turn this dead robotic sounding text into something funny, period. I was confused about what happened, so I tried it on the children. Hold on. I left most of this unedited. So we just put editorial notes in here. You've failed at the rest of it. It sounds like a 13-year-old's attempt to be funny. Apparently Tony makes this face in it. There's no the random story on creepypasta.com doesn't work, unfortunately. But I could sort my least rated or most rated. I do have a Bipolar Express, but that looks like it's meant to be a long one. I've got the naughty list. Oh, okay, 10 minutes. Not too long. A few years ago, I did something. Something terrible. Something I really wish I didn't. Something I can never take back. It all started when my girlfriend, well, ex-girlfriend, broke up with me. I know this might seem trivial and just part of life and growing as a person. However, unfortunately for me, it had the complete reverse effect. I know you all think I'm childish, and I just needed to take it on the chin and deal with it, and you'd be right, but I didn't. I just didn't. I was hurt, more than hurt. I was offended, insulted. I mean, how could she? After everything I've done for her, it was me who gave her a place to live. It was me who helped to pay off her debts. It was me who helped to get a job, and she wants to throw it all back in my face. I wasn't going to allow this to occur unpunished. I know it was petty and I was wrong. I was so very wrong, but you have to understand, I was desperate. I was hurting so deeply. It honestly felt as though my heart was aching. It was throbbing so hard, I honestly thought at any point it would explode and kill me instantly. I know it sounds dramatic, and I'm honestly not looking for sympathy. I'm not. I don't deserve it. I'm not the victim here. Well, not anymore. I made sure of that. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish I just took my own life instead. Then maybe, not of this would have ever happened. I was so down and furious I couldn't even sleep. I was just so frustrated. I was angry, so I honestly could feel my body shaking with rage. So I got up. With hatred and darkness in my heart, I booted up my laptop. I wasn't, and I'm not, a stranger to the dark web. I've spent countless hours trying and failing to navigate it to quell my boredom. I only ever found the usual rabbit holes, falling into typical drug and honey trap sites and forums, lots and lots of forums, and I didn't really know what I was looking for, or even where to find it if I did. In truth, subconsciously, I guess in some way I knew. I just wanted for her to hurt. I wanted her to hurt like she hurt me. I wanted her to feel the embarrassment I had felt and suffered at her hands. My original plan, although very distasteful and wrong of me, wasn't malicious in intent, at least not violent anyway. Just wanted to humiliate her like she humiliated me. I started photos and videos of her from our time together. You know, personal, shall we say, videos and photos of her. Oh, you fucking bastard. And in my pent-up anger and first state, I thought it was a good idea to use them against her. I see now I was wrong from the start, but I wish, oh how I wish I had just done that. So often as it seems, that was nothing to what I actually did. I couldn't find it, I just couldn't. I wish I'd given up, but of course I didn't. I kept digging and digging, clicking link after link. Until eventually I clicked on a link and I found something that caught my attention. It was a forum called the Naughty List. On it was a question, do you know someone who's been bad? So, maybe you should put them on the Naughty List. Perfect, I thought, this has got to be, I'll upload all my personal photos and videos on there. And maybe the link to social media and we'll see his stuff from there. I thought about adding her address, but as she was back living with her family, even I drew the line there. And I know how noble I was, so I am so pathetic. That wasn't what I expected though. You couldn't just upload to the homepage, there was different sections to it, or punishments as we called it. I don't think how dramatic, how dumb and naive I was. There were several different sections, Elf on a Shelf, Krampus Cramps and Frozen Fields, among others. Yeah, I know, very Christmassy, right? I thought so. It kind of made me chuckle. I guess that's why I just didn't take it that seriously, you know? A schoolboy mistake. And as you all know, mistakes always have consequences. Anyway, the sections, Elf on a Shelf kind of made me crack half smile. But that's not what I went with. I chose something called Slay Snatcher. I don't know why I did. It was just kind of funny to me after clicking on it. I had to wait a good minute and a half before this bright white page loads up, filled with a few black text boxes, and text that read, Santa is waiting to write up his naughty list. Please fill in the details and he'll do the rest. Cute, I thought. I just thought it was kind of stupid, but that's what I did. I filled it in regardless, name, age, birthday, links to the person's social media. It was all there. Everything I was so desperately looking for, and of course, photo uploads. Jackpot. I remember slimily smiling to myself, half cackling in the process. It wouldn't allow me to upload any videos, but the photos were more than enough for me. He also asked for a person's address, but as I've previously said, I wasn't really ready to go that far, but I didn't write in her hometown. Our hometown, something I really wish I didn't do. I wish I didn't do any of it. After I finished putting in her information without even a moment's hesitation, I clicked submit. After a few minutes, a little text box appeared asking, are you sure? Santa won't forget. He checks that list twice. All names are final. I smugly pressed yes, and that was that. Perfect. I thought one time I was redirected to another page. It took a few minutes to upload. But when it did, caught me off guard. It said simply, thank you for submitting to the naughty list. We really appreciate it. Sit back, relax, and Santa will slay snatch those ho ho ho's. Santa will empty his sack and put them in one. He knows when you've been naughty. This took me back a bit. took me a few minutes to process what it was saying, and I just laughed. As awful as that sounds, it's true. I mean, come on, it was gross and yeah, admittedly sick, but it was really kind of funny, and there was no way it could be real anyway. I didn't care. I achieved my goal. Thought job done. It's all uploaded. People see him, message her on social media. Then she'll be humiliated. She'll be the one who pushed down into the dirt. So feeling better about myself, I calmly and confidently shut down and wiped everything correctly, making sure I couldn't be traced or implicated in any way. It's already heavily affected. I knew that, but anyone who uses the dark web will tell you it's better to be safe than sorry. The next morning, I woke up with the biggest, most disturbing smile I've ever produced. I honestly must have looked like the grinning Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. I was so damn pleased with myself. Looking back on it now, it honestly makes me feel sick. I couldn't wait to see the fruits of my labour. I was so excited to see her suffer. I wanted her to hurt, and I wanted her to know, more accurately, think it was me, but I've no way to prove it. I wanted her to break her and to feel as worthless as she'd made me feel. But to my absolute dismay and disappointment, nothing happened. I waited, and I waited, but nothing. No angry phone calls or texts, no outraged social media posts, nothing at all. I thought maybe at first she could have been trying to ignore it, or maybe she's reported the abuse and been told not to engage with any potential troll or creeper. I mean, surely, right? I mean, there's no way I could check. I couldn't find that link again, even if I tried. Anyone with stuff deep web will know this to be true. It's just not cataloged. It's a mess. And I stumbled across by chance in the first place. Oh, how I wish I didn't. So a few more days go by, and by now my excitement has faded, and I feel dejected and genuinely upset that it clearly hasn't worked. Nobody could be so calm if it had, and I couldn't just exactly ask her or go check. I just point fingers straight at me. So after a while, I just gave up. The whole deal was now tiresome to me, and as sad as it sounded, it strangely made me feel better. Like I had gotten it all out of my system somehow. A few days later, I was woken by a loud knock on my door. Previous down my former relationship completely escaped my mind at this point. And just some context, I live alone, don't get many visitors all too often, so I was more annoyed to have been woken up for curious to who was at my door for whatever reason. So you can imagine my shock when I flung open my door and was greeted by the stern faces of 2 police officers. Shit. I thought, this is it, I'm going to prison, everyone's going to think I'm some kind of freak. Which I guess in all fairness I was at the time. They asked to come in, and I of course obliged, not wanting to make a scene and make things potentially worse for myself. I was thinking at the time, they only asked to come in. As of right now, I'm not under arrest or anything, so I better see what we want. But what they asked me completely and utterly knocked me out of me. When was the last time you saw Katie? I'm speechless. For a second I must look like the most guilty and suspicious person in the world. Realising this, quickly shook the look of surprise and bit off my face. Nancy's clown was like mustard, not since we broke up around 2 weeks ago. This was true, but it still didn't save from a line of inquiry and a barrage of intense scrutiny and questioning. Where were you on the night of so-and-so? I told him the truth. At home. Can anyone verify this? I said, well, no, I live alone, but I did get dropped off at home after work by one of my colleagues, which is routine after every shift, so he can, I guess. And what time of this? I told him the truth, around 10:30. The cameras at work should show me leaving about 10:20. It's only about 10 minutes when I was here. Did you leave your property at any point after you returned? No. I meekly, but as authoritatively as I could, retorted, there was a camera by the apartment sentence that was trying to tell him the truth. His face, an intense stare of concentration into my eyes, seemed to waver and loosen ever so slightly. So I thought I'd push my look and ask, what's all this about? He stated, but although he can't give me details of an ongoing investigation, Katie had been reported missing and had not been seen for close to a week. She was last seen by her mother leaving their home to shop and browse the stores, but never returning. Police officers left soon after that, and actually thanked me for my time. They did check for CCTV, and with my boss and colleague who confirmed my story that was telling the truth, days turned into weeks and still nothing. It seems as though she just vanished in thin air. I couldn't believe it. Could he? It couldn't have been because of me. I thought maybe it's possible from CreepyPastas socials, found her address after I posted from along with the image. Surely just had to be coincidence. That stupid forum couldn't be wrong. I mean, Santa's naughty list. Come on, get a grip, I thought to myself. The longer I went on, the more horrible I felt. I know that I wasn't physically responsible, but in one way or another I'd caused this, or at least put the wheels into motion. I felt just guilty as if I'd done something to her. I mean, this is the girl I once loved, the girl I still love, and I'd done this. I had caused this, and her poor mother had been estranged for years, and it was me who finally got them to reconcile, and for what? So I could just destroy her worse than she could have ever possibly envisaged? I couldn't live with myself with what I'd done. I tried to get on normally in my life, but it was hard. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, and you know something? I knew I deserved it. I'd cringe every time I caught myself feeling sorry for myself. I'm not a victim, I'm a monster. Wolves in sheep's clothing. I deserved it. Not her. I was selfish. I was so disgusting and pathetic. I was weak. I was so very weak. I Took to drinking to make myself safe. Anything to numb the pain. Anything to get the image of her face and the sounds of her screams out of my head. I couldn't go to the police. How could I? If I confessed, my life was as good as over. Selfish as it was, I just didn't believe it would even help find her if I did. Maybe I was just being a coward, but it was hopeless. She was gone. I waited every morning for an update. Every no new information today update killed a little piece of me. Each and every time it was torture until one day we did find her. But I'm sure you all can tell. This story doesn't have a happy ending. It was weeks, but she was eventually found in an old abandoned factory in the outskirts of the next town over. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't feel my throat tightening to the point I was struggling to breathe. When I heard the news, please, no, I thought in my heart. I was begging and pleading with whatever couldn't hear me, but it must be some kind of mistake, a mix-up. But it wasn't. It couldn't be down to me. But unfortunately, it was no mix-up. There are no mistakes when you answer yes. I'm sure I wanted to do something, and I guess I got my wish. She was found stuffed down for one of the now defunct chimneys. Her body was stuffed inside a sack, a toy sack. Hold on a sec, I just missed a call. I'm just gonna message. What? I couldn't believe it. I felt sick. I feel sick thinking about it now. This was some kind of sick joke. I kept trying and failing to convince myself. I felt my body tremble. She was found completely naked. Body had badly deteriorated at this point. But they knew it was her. They knew because stuffed into her eye socket was a small piece of paper. A small piece of paper that read, "Naughty list, Katie. You should have been good." I blacked out. I collapsed where I was standing and I hit my head pretty hard. When I regained consciousness, I hoped, I prayed it was just a bad dream. But of course it wasn't. It was real. It was all real. It was all because of me. And I'm sorry, Katie. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for what we did to you. I'm sorry for what I did to you. I have to live with guilt every day. Not a day goes by that I don't think about confessing or ending up my own life. In some sick way, I sometimes think that would make up for it. Or at least make us somewhat even somehow. Even though I know that would be impossible, I can't imagine what they did to you, what they put you through. I can't imagine the fear and terror you must have felt. I can't imagine your final thoughts of how confused and alone you must have been. Nothing will ever make up for the torture I subjected the girl I once loved and cherished to. All because of my own ego and misguided sense of pride and self-worth. I wish I could take it all back. I really do. But I can't. That will sadly never be able to change. You deserve justice, Katie. You deserve to be able to rest in peace at the very least. Maybe confessing will bring you and your family closer. Maybe ending my own life will make us even. But regardless of the answer, I'm far too much of a coward for either. This...
A well-written non-game creepypasta that goes...
I mean, it's...
further than I'd expect.
It's well written, and it's not related to a video game, which is always a plus, right?
It's...
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Something about it leaves just a weird taste in my mouth.
Yeah, but at the very least, the protagonist's not a good guy.
Yeah.
And you do leave it hating him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The bastard. Fucking hell.
Fucking.
I'm not gonna say it doesn't try to make us feel sympathy for him. But like if it does, if the author was trying that, they failed, which is good. Jesus Christ. Something a bit more lighthearted.
I'll also just say that one. I don't know why it seems to be trying to make us slightly sympathise with him. Obviously, not see him as a good guy, but sympathise with the error he made. Like, is it to comment on human impulsivity and some people just doing evil shit?
I don't know.
They I don't. Oof.
It's well written, but I'm not sure I really like it. It just leaves a bad taste. I don't know.
Mm.
Something a bit more light-handed. Every single gaming pasta. I'm a big fan of video games. I decided to buy Pokemon Red for my Game Boy, so I went to the flea market to buy it. That isn't cliche at all. Okay, so then I saw a cartridge and the label was ripped off. It said Pokemon Red in Sharpie. I was like, okay, what the fuck? And then I gave it to the cashier, and the cashier was scared, and he gave it to me for free. So when I played Pokemon Red, everyone told me don't turn around, and they were covered in hyper-realistic blood. Gasp, shock, horror. And then a skeleton popped out. Good timing. Brilliant timing on that soundboard, actually.
Thank you.
I think me and Charlie did something similar in primary school, where it was just fucking around, basically doing the same shit with every single gaming pasta. There's a category on this for, and then a skeleton popped out. Okay, I'm gonna run for a piss and maybe to steal a bit of cake or icing from downstairs. Sorry, Charlie, I would have offered you some when you were over earlier, but it wasn't finished at the time. I will be back in a minute. I'm just gonna... Do I still have that text for leaving up? I should do. Is it this text? No, it's not that text. No, it's not that image. Okay, settings work. No, that's that one. Turn that one off. Go to this one. Gone for B. We'll be right back. Oh, we'll be back soon. And then I will be back soon. Yeah, I'm gonna mute everything while I'm gone. I'll be back as soon as possible. BRB. Hello, I am back. For whatever reason, there is a full category for Invent a Skeleton popped out on Patrol Pasta Wiki. I like the sound of EXE games that will never be made. The following are .exe games that nobody will ever want to make or write about. This EXE game is listed first.exe. You smell like you farted.exe. Roblox manface.exe. Buttsex.exe. Well.exe. Fluffykitten.exe. Laserboom.exe. Fuck my ass so hard.exe. Yourmom.exe. Evil
Angel.exe.
patricksties.exe. What?
Angeldust.exe.
Holy shit, that is there, yeah. Horny.jpeg.exe. Wall of text.exe. This is fucking wall of text.exe right here. Jesus, this is so long. Hold on. Piggy!
I'm not the only one who owns it, like,
Piggy.exe! Hold on.
maniac.
Hold on. This list is now closed. August 6, 2014 to August 12, 2024. Okay, so it's... There's piggies on there twice!
Yeah, one's We'll go back to the one that isn't capitalized. That one's the non-capitalism. Did
And
I
it's-
just get fucking wolf whistled at by a tractor? Charlie, did you hear that?
No.
That was actually fucking ridiculous.
Charlie, you might be interested in this one that's never going to be made and no one's ever going to write about. A shovelware Riona Toho fan game bought on Comiket.exe. Megamind.exe. Tomato.exe. Load of bad language. Despacito2.exe. Video.exe. You have been banned from the Mickey Mouse Club for inappropriate behavior.exe. Your mum was so fat she brought a spoon to the Super Bowl.exe, and your mum was so stupid she bought tickets to the Xbox Live.exe.
And the third one.
Hello, I'm Chris Hansen from Dateline NBC. Take a seat.exe. Boldtext.exe is now real. Someone made Jesus.exe?
That my fat ass.exe.
I'm making... Hold on. I'm making a mod based off of Jesus Christ.exe creepypasta. It will be called versus Jesus Christ.exe. I know this is really stupid, but I felt like posting it. Jesus and God, please forgive me. What? He has red Cheeto dust on his hands. He wants to be balling, but he doesn't have a ball. Intern at Creepypasta Wikia. Once I was an intern at Creepypasta Wikia, because Creepy Daily News didn't have anything else than that and an invite to a laboratory test. But the laboratory test was a cliche, so I went to the another job. When I go to the house, it looked very spooky. It had lots of creepy images flying around it and endless text of creepypastas flowing to the neighbour's house. When I ringed the door, I noticed there was plenty of people that I didn't know. Who answered the door was a skeleton called LOL Skeletons and a guy called Dronian. He said, "Come up to this room and read these pastas." 4 days came and LOL Skeletons invited us to watch a DVD. I was really tired because I had to read lots of cliched pastas and my brain didn't have capacity to handle any more of them. The DVD was real horrible MS Paint quality, and it was titled Suicide Mouse 5 Suicide.avi. Then the mouse walked and walked, and really hyper-realistic John Madden popped out, and I didn't handle any more of these stupid troll guys' shit. Then I runned out screaming and noticed the title said, "Welcome to the office of Trollpasta Wikia." When I readed it, I died because of a shock. Then my ghost came and I hanged myself at Ghost World, and then I popped up to another Ghost World and skeletons popped out. The fuck? No. Skeletons. Well, it was in the Inventor Skeleton popped out category, so my butt fell off. This is the official sequel to my nutsack fell off. I'm not reading the original. Search. Toho 14. I believe you might have mentioned this one to me before.
I think so.
Shall I read it?
If you want.
Okay, there is an image associated. Konachan.com, Dark Kitsune Tsuki, Monochrome, Toho, Yakumoran.png. Okay. I'd always prided myself on being two things. Rather fearless
Kieran,
and rather
stop.
good at games. What?
You never removed the Gone for P text.
God damn it! I knew I forgot something! God damn it. I'm glad someone noticed, because otherwise I would have been there like the whole stream. Right. I thought for a second, like, some serious, like, I don't know, there was like a fucking boob on the screen or something, I don't know. I'd always prided myself on being two things. Rather fearless and rather good at games. Any game I owned was guaranteed to have been completed on hard mode, no matter what the time span took to reach the end. I would charge headfirst into a fight and have successfully disarmed an attacker who would have otherwise stabbed me. I prided myself on those two things. I also prided myself on my Toho achievements. That's three things. Okay? So, learn to count. To those who haven't played Toho games, they are a series of vertical shooters where you dodge bullets while inspiring your own to progress through 7 increasingly difficult stages with a boss at each stage. There are nearly 20 games in total for the entire saga. I had beaten all of the Toho games, including the PC-98 games. You name it, I'd played it on both hard and lunatic modes: Subterranean Animism, Mystic Square, Double Spoiler, all that were in my Toho folder, were cleared. I almost read that as Subterranean Aneurysm, but that's the CreepyPasta version, isn't it? You can imagine my excitement when out of the blue my friend, let's call him A, tells me I found the demo for the newest game, Toho 14. Even kindly enough providing a download link from RapidShare, legit enough, right? Aside from I hadn't seen users freaking out on Tumblr, no official announcement of Toho Wikia, none of that penetrated my thick skull as I downloaded the file though. After an hour and a half total download, unzip and install time, the folder sat innocently on my desktop. Toho 14.
Have you had your Tumblr on?
I have it.
Okay, cool.
Toblerone. More like Toblerone. Hey. This was nothing new. I only installed some of my games with English name, and if this was a demo, there was no English name. However, by this point, the time had gone 10 PM, college beckoning in the morning for a 6 AM start. I shut down my laptop and readied myself for bed, barely drifting off into a fitful, dreamless sleep. When I awoke, there was still murky, residual darkness outside, viewable via the window opposite my bed. Ripping off my mobile phone I keep on my bedside table, the screen illuminated time blindingly into my dark, habituated eyes. 4:44 AM. With a groan, I rolled over back on the pillow to no avail. I flipped and rolled for seemingly hours with no success of sleeping. Giving in, I dragged myself out of bed for a shower and some tea, a ritual I'd recently accustomed myself to. When I awoke, there was still... No, I've gone back. By 5:59 a.m., I had eaten, showered, and was in the process of blow-drying my hair before dressing. If you've got a 6 a.m. start and you're in the middle of blow-drying your hair at 5:59, you're going to be late for college. That's not very smart of you. With a flashing blue light in my laptop caught my attention. Strange. I switched it off the night before. Giving my newly dried hair a shake and a drag through with a flat brush, I took off the switch out of the laptop. I hadn't pressed the off option when switching off last night. No big deal. I could fool around for a bit until 6:30 when I had to leave the bus to college. Memphis, surprise, surprise, I could give the new Toho installment a whirl before form. Pulling a dress over my newly brushed hair and panties under the dress, I executed the file inside the folder. Strangely enough, named in boxes where it would usually be named on the CH14 demo. I assumed it to be original Japanese text, but my tottering, unupdated laptop couldn't read and shrugged it off as I settled back down into the seat in front of the screen. Black as the executable file booted itself up. I don't need to know you wearing panties under the dress. I could probably guess that. In seconds, the title screen was up, amazingly similar to the title screen for 10 size but with no sound. I sighed, thinking it was error in patching the deleted music file. I had a problem with Perfect Cherry Blossom. Starting up a new game, I was pleasantly surprised to find new playable characters: Flandre, Nue, Komachi, and Utsuho. I was even happy to see these playable characters, but most times were considered fairly strong characters, especially Utsuho and Flandre. Now, Nue had always been a favourite of mine. So, my directional pad headed straight for her option, hitting the Z button. However, yielded no result aside from a loud screech from my laptop. Stupid thing, I thought. Most damaged game file got the same result from Flandre and Utsuho, leaving me with little hope that Komachi would work. Amazingly, her option agreed with my laptop and stage 1 fired up, but again there was no music. The normally vibrant background colours were dull, and boringly enough, however, when I'm playing FPS games, my laptop tended to sometimes mess with colours, so I paid little heed. There were also no bullets to dodge, no fairies appeared, no mid-boss, only small cloud-like enemies floating across the screen. When I launched and attack them, they fled, leaving a black box behind instead of usual red power-ups or green point boxes. Upon collecting these, a strange thing happened. After I collected 10 of these boxes, the screen faded to black me from the loudest static noise ever. Jumping halfway out my skin at the unexpected noise, I simply held down pause switch to turn my laptop off. Creating sight of my clock on the wall, time read 6:25. Probably time for me to go. College awaited me. When I came home that night, I started up Toho 14 again, hoping that cool-off time would improve the game. This time, there was music for the title screen. However, it wasn't a zone-type sound. It was more several title themes all played over each other. I took it as another quirk of the damages my laptop could inflict on games. This time, however, there was no character select after the title screen. There was no controls at all. They were taken over by the computer as though in demo mode. The control itself as it moved Komachi across the screen, attacking over came in a path and rather uncharacteristic way for Komachi. No strange move. All enemies fled it. Background looked rather like the inside of Yukari's Gap, as shown in fighting games like Scarlet Web or Rhapsody. Extending so far that bomb, idle, and power counters were hidden. The next shock came when the boss of the level showed up. A very stressed looking Shiki appears, warning Komachi to turn back. Not too surprising, since there was no aforementioned incident and Komachi has a job to do, right? Before any back and forth could occur between the characters, as is the norm, the game launched Komachi forward, causing her scythe to cleave the boss in half. I sat staring, dumbfounded. The screen as blood seeped from the halved pixels, spreading over the screen until the gap-like background was obscured by red. The game handed control back to me. I shook as I carried on to level 2, confronted by some fleeing fairies again. They dropped black boxes, but this time there was no static sound. I was transported directly to stage 2, a setting that resembled the flowing lava of subterranean animism stage 6. This time a visibly irritated and fearful Rin appears, warning Komachi that to go deeper is a danger even she wouldn't approach. Komachi's control was taken from me at this point, and she was launched into the Kasha, slicing the girl's head from her shoulders. My trembling increased as a split frame appeared on my screen long enough to print screen. Upon minimizing of the game and pasting the screenshot into MS Paint, frame appeared to be that of what looked like a young cosplayer about 14 years old dressed as Flandre. Her cosplay was cut open shortly down the front, exposing her with the shards she used to decorate her wings with, impaling her chest and abdomen, and was shimmed with broken bones sticking out of her white arm. Blood took up most of the shot. Oh yeah, that's why this one's notable, isn't it? It's the Toho game with the dead cosplayers inside.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Bell started to rise in my throat as I realised just what kind of game this was. I'd linked the image and tried to exit the game. There was no exit command. All the thought would not work. The laptop would not turn off. The game didn't show as being run. Task Manager on the contrary showed only critical processes running. I searched for no cusp but finished the game. The format carried on, as aforementioned, for 5 more horrible levels. A myriad of different characters being slaughtered by what should have been a fairly easygoing fairy woman. All 3 of mischievous fairy trio at once. Alice Margatroyd, Aya, and Momiji in the same level. Buto, Tojigo, and Miko all at once in the last level, Noe and Momzo. My 2 favourites out of the whole game were dismembered before my eyes, even though they were only pixels. The game carried on with split frames appeared for long amounts of time, making sure I could see the atrocities. All Toho cosplayers, after Flandre, then Bikurin, a float suite, and Nutsuho, broken bones poking off from every limb, and Benek at a sick ankle. A Amelia with intestines removed wrapped tightly around her neck, acting as a noose. A Yuyuko with hands, feet, eyes, and head cleaved from the body. A Yuka impaled through the chest with several knives. A Hinu's face, legs, and arms were badly charred, as well as a portion of her dress and some of her wig. The one similarity aside from the complete lifelessness and youth of girls whose age is ranged from around 9 through 16, with clothes all surely cut open from exposing far more diseased girls than should have been. At the end of the game, the agonizingly slow blacking out of the image of a Hina cosplayer came for credits. Any credits, no words rolled on the screen, only blackness, until what the usual end of the game would be, and special thanks to you. I'm still not sure how fully the experience has affected me, but I certainly no longer pride myself on fearlessness. Anything red makes me vomit, anything Toho makes me fake. I can't hear the original soundtracks of any of the games without descending into a debilitating panic attack. I dream about the murdered girls, saw flashbacks to her dead eyes, the police took away my laptop search file, but must have done something to itself. The entire move board was completely useless, melted, and corrupted beyond saving. The download link has disappeared from RapidShare. I see my therapist twice a week. She says I have PTSD. All I know is that I can see those dead faces and will until I die.
Seasons, reasons.
Wait, this isn't double dealing character. No, it is not, anonymous user number 1. No, it is not. There's very actual good Toho ones on here. I saw one which is just called Toho the Truth. Oh, it's in Russian, and it comes with a bonus. It's one of those law things. Oh, English translation. Bonus! Zun is a loser who did not reach a success. Okay. Did you notice how strange the backgrounds are in all the stages? In the end, it turns out that Reimu is a lonely orphan living in an abandoned shrine. She went against Yoko and all his residents and her imaginary friends. She lives on alms, so this is where the entire donations of stuff came from. Also, it's obvious that alms are not so much, therefore the box is always empty, and the hungry pale Reimu is laying down in the shrine. Imagine adventures in a magical world and beautiful festivals with all its inhabitants. It would be a good ending, in fact. There is no uncertainty, no continuation, full stop, playtime's over. Here it is. Reality spreads out in front of you. Go, be a part of it. Love, suffer, die under this hot and cold sun as your fathers and grandfathers loved and suffered and died, and as before them, their fathers and grandfathers and fathers and grandfathers of their fathers and grandfathers did. You can run away to your magical country without worries and sorrows, but you cannot escape. Your life, anyway, will find you. Gently grab you with ice claws, carefully wrap you in a blanket from dust and bureaucratic waste and swallow you. Poor Reimu is so tired of loneliness that her imaginary world has become real, but only in her head. She's developed schizophrenia. Sometimes her second personality takes control of her body, but as there is still nothing to do in the shrine, she lies and dreams like the hostess of the body. She imagines that she becomes rich that flies on a broom, cooks an elixir from mushrooms, steals books and has fun. Her fate is even more unenviable. After all, Reimu has a chance to find a way out, no matter how tiny it is, and Marissa has no chance, and never had, and will not have. She is doomed. Only the drizzling autumn rain cries for her. Once lost in the forest, Zun came upon an abandoned shrine, and he met there with a strange girl who talked with imaginary friends, left to spend the night. Zun listened to the stories of the poor girl about her fictional adventures. The next morning he left. But even after returning home and drinking a bottle of beer, he could not forget the temple in the forest and the girl. He then decided he would try to translate the girl's fantasy into reality by the only way available to him. With the help of program code and a graphic tablet after gaining fame and glory, Zun repeatedly tried to find that abandoned shrine in the deepest place, but each time failed. In his own dream, his only desires, that sooner or later that lonely girl will see his creations and smile, maybe. Bonus: Zun is a loser who did not reach a success. He is not to be envied. People became alcoholics not because of good life. A complete fail at self-realization, lack of money, and having no support from close people plunged him into worlds of illusions. It is obvious that a homebrew game of a not too popular shooting genre with terrible art and MIDI music will not bring success to anyone in real life. There are not any fans, no dozens of thousands of fan arts, arrangements, delusions, no Retesa. Even this board doesn't exist. It's all his delusions and a product of a mind driven to sickness by alcohol. All this takes place in Zone's head while he spreads languidly with a bottle in hand between piles of rubbish, surrounded by shabby grey walls of his tiny rental room, and he can't even pay for rent anymore. And Tori. Translators note Tori's default post is name of a toad board on earchan.ru, who reads this text now doesn't even suspect that he doesn't exist. He's just a made-up character, and soon sees dreams from his point of view. No one draws content you fapped today on. No one composes music you listen to. No one even wrote this post. Your perception, your thoughts, and your confidence in the reality of things are just a usual fakeness of dreams. So how is it to be a fabrication of a stranger's mind? Also, look up concealed for conclusion. Very interesting.
What the fuck?
So, this was clearly written by some crazed Russian man on a Toho forum. Okay. So, Toho's real, but it's some crazy girl at the shrine's imagined friends. And also, no, it's not, because Zone is a loser who never achieved success, and all of this is just in his head, and Toho's shit, and no one likes it, but he imagined a load of people who did like it, and those are us. Those are like me and Charlie. We are fake. No, this is weird.
Passive aggressive existential horror.
Yes. I'm going to look at games that will take your life because I'm. This is long. Okay. One sec. Give me a second to mute. Sorry about that.
Because of the way.
Sorry about that, guys. That was my mum. She was asking me a question. I can't tell you what question she was asking me.
My mom asked me a question. What the fuck are the rules?
Hi. My name is Dan. The story that follows I had no part in. I did not write it. I'm not in it. All I am is a person with one story out there. Believe it or not, this is a story of what I can only call the arcade game. Okay. I found this story on a 2 MB SD card in a Chinese puzzle box that I found in the basement of a house that I just moved into. The story was the only thing on the SD card. It was an empty file, but it's named It's Gone. So from this point on, it will be the story. That a lot of creepypastas have that sort of weird setup, right? Like, oh, I found a spooky haunted game in a yard sale or at a Goodwill, like at a charity shop or in a dumpster, in the hole in the ground where I found Saddam Hussein, those sorts of things, right? This is possibly the first one I've heard where they found the story on an SD card in a Chinese puzzle box hidden in their basement. Where should I start? This event is hunting my mind, so I will start where it started.
Hunting my mind. Hunting my mind. Okay, I'm using that.
I have been hoping some of these creepypastas are sufficiently bad to be funny. Most of them have just been bad so far.
Which lines
Hunting my mind.
But hunting
got
my
lost.
mind.
My mind is spinning and swimming.
I lived in a small town in, I believe that's Missouri? No. Yes. A small town in Missouri. I think it's Missouri. The town's name is Marshfield. Is that a real town?
It's Missouri.
Marshfield in Gloucestershire. Marshfield is Newport, Wales. Which state is MO? Yeah, it's Missouri. I was right.
Remember, be careful looking up locations just because.
I know. It was just me and my dad. I was just 13 years old. I'm now 18, and this will be the only time I'll bring that event up for the rest of my life, however long or short it will be. My name is Jacob the Third. I have the same name as my dad and grandpa did. Okay, Jacob the Third, tell me what is haunting your mind.
Holy shit, Charlie.
Huh?
You need to see this.
Seeing as they are hunting their mind, does anyone have an image of you know what that you can send me for me to put up on stream?
I should.
You should. That's why I'm asking you.
Where the fuck has it gone?
Actually, I can just grab it on my other
Sent.
Chrome instance. Oh, send. Go. Yep, I got it.
I tried to get the transparent one. I'll be right back.
Right. What was this image again? Okay, I'm going to replace this image with, if I go downloads, this image. It is not transparent, but I'm just going to put it in the corner.
It won't
It
be.
works. It works well enough.
I could get you a transparent one very, very quickly.
It's fine. It's fine. It was an early Wednesday morning, Dad. And I had gotten up to go to a local store in Acton. My dad owned a thrift store, and we would go to Acton, like this, from time to time to get new inventory. We were the last people to get there. It was just us and 4 or 5 other people. There were 3 units to bid on. The first one wasn't anything. They mean auction. I was so confused what a storage Acton was, but it's an auction. There were 3 units to bid on. The first one wasn't anything we needed, just car parts. The second one is one we won, and we did not go to the third one. In this Acton, we did not get to see the inside of units. It was just bid and hope you got something good. So we moved the second unit. We just wanted to open it right then. We did not go to the third unit. Oh well, we did not have any more money to spend on another unit anyway. We only had 1,000 and we spent it all on unit 2. We had to cut off 1 big chain and 5 different locks to get in here. When we got it open, both of us were thinking that we had got the best unit ever. Because it was stacked floor to ceiling with boxes, or so it looked. There were some boxes with a letter, some with a exclamation mark on them, and some were blank. In order from top to left to bottom, they looked like this. I'm
sorry, can you highlight that?
In order from top to bottom, top left to bottom right, but it looked like this.
Okay. Quite the bold memory.
When we finally started, oh shit, yeah, they're writing this 5 years later. I was just 13 years old, I'm now 18. Yeah. So, a hell of a memory. When we first started to move the boxes, we were disappointed. They were all filled with papers which stated the same thing. Leave it alone. It was then we got a bad feeling. Besides boxes, there was only 4 things in the unit. A table. On the table was a little wood box. Then there was what I was so happy to see, an old arcade game. It was all black, without any markings or anything to tell us what game it was. But I was not too happy with a close look, I knew why. The last thing was a weird looking axe for hard rubber handle, and what looked like a copper blade. The axe head cut the cord to the arcade game and was stuck in the ground. The game was useless for a cord could. But I looked at the back and flipped beyond the switch and the game came on right away. My dad said it was not possible, but it was working fine. The best that we could think was if the axe blade was still touching the recorder, it was cut, so it was completing the circuit. When it came on, the screen was blood red! After a few minutes, black lines started at the top of the screen and slowly slid down it. All of a sudden it flashed. We saw some words that were too fast to read and a new screen popped up. And it was Pac-Man. Pac-Man is my favourite game. We played the game for a little bit, but Dad did not want to break it with it not being plugged in right and the power going through the axe. So they flipped it off and pulled out the axe, confirming the cord being cut through one end free. The other still plugged in. Plugged it to the only power outlet in the room. We loaded all the stuff up and set off to a local arcade game repairman just 50 or so miles away from us in Springfield.
Oh my god.
After getting lost for an hour, we pulled in the parking lot of a repairman shop. We got out of the truck and went inside. 2 words, not one. He was a middle-aged man in his late 40s, and there were arcade games all over. Wrong were. So we knew that we had come to the right place. He and my dad talked for a little. Then we went out to see the game. We unloaded it and looked at it closely and asked a few questions we did not know the answer to. Like, who made it? Oh, sorry. Like, how made it? When it was made? And what happened to it? He then said, let's take it inside. We got it into a shop and he asked the kid to open it, but we did not have it. So we got our drill and got it to open in no time, and to his surprise, the inside was not what he expected it to be. All the CPUs and GPUs looked like new, but even stranger was that there were more than it needed, and he did not recognize them. There was a wireless internet receiver in it which should not be there, for there is no reason for it to connect to the internet. And so he said, let me fix the power cord and see what it does. Okay. I am with you so far. Weird spooky arcade game you found. I'm not getting why it's haunting your mind yet. It took him maybe half an hour to fix it, which was not bad at all. We then plugged it in, flipped the on switch, and it came right on. This time it was not Pac-Man, it was Asteroids, and there was no way to change the game. So how many players he watched the inside to see if it was all working? It did. So he said thank you, paid for man, and went home. I thought you spent all your money on the thing. You won't have money to pay for man. We got home and with loaded stuff. We got the table, axe, and the game went in the basement. I liked the wood box, and Dad let me have it. Oh, that's the Chinese puzzle box from the start of the story. Makes sense. Yes. Then I went to my room and sat on my bed. Looking at the box, I noticed at the top had 4 wheels that you can turn. I didn't realize the box was locked for. You can only open it when you turn the wheels to the right spot. After messing with the box for a few hours, it clicked and it opened. It was a gigabyte SD card. I put it in my computer and there was only one file named Games Will Take Your Life. It's a 2 megabyte SD card at the start. Now it's a gigabyte. Magic. Thinking it was a joke, I opened it and then started to download to my computer. First off, there was nothing I could do. I let it finish. When it was done, my computer screen changed to a blood red. And black lines ran down my screen just like it did on the arcade game. It started to flash. Games will take your life over and over. The words got bigger and bigger. I was scared. It would not respond to anything. I did, so I pulled out the new power cord. I then went to find my dad, who was in the basement playing the arcade game, but this time it was Jumpman. I told him about what happened. He did not believe me. Well, yeah, if you tell him about what happened, of course he's not going to believe you. He told me not to make up stories. But he looked at me,
Exactly.
and I knew it was not him talking to me. It was a game. His eyes were the same colour as blood red screens. When he looked away from the game, he fell to the ground and was just laying there. I ran upstairs to the phone. It was dead. I hung it up and tried again, but this time there was a voice on the line. It was so familiar. It was my dad's voice. He just repeated the same thing over and over. Games will take your life. Games will take your life. Games will take your life. It got louder and deeper. It was like a demon. I dropped the phone and ran to my room, plugged in my computer, turned it on. But it started flashing from blood red screen to the words, games will take your life, to Pac-Man, to asteroids, then to Jumpman, but each time it flashed it changed over colours. The scene of the games got more gory in Pac-Man. When it ate a dot it would say, eat your poison. In asteroids, the ship would shot at things that looked like my head. And when they blow up, blood would splatter. In Jumpman, DK was laying there dead with the princess's head in his hand, and Jumpman was hitting himself in the head with his hammer. I ran out of the door screaming. I was headed to the front door when I saw my dad standing there with the blood red eyes. He came at me and he just kept saying, games will take your life. The only thing I could do is run down the basement and lock the door behind me. When I looked over and saw the arcade game powered on there on the screen was my dad's face. It was sad and he was crying. And a text box popped up. He said, please help me, son. Kill my body and set me free. I cried, no, I can't. You're not my dad. He is upstairs. Again, a text box popped up and it said, no, it is me in here, not out there. I was quiet. A text box popped up again. This time it said, kill it with the axe fast. It hurts in here. I said, fine. I grabbed the axe, moved the table in between the doors so his body could not get me. I opened over an extension cord we had. His body came walking in saying the same thing. Games will take your life. He jumped over the table. As he was going to land, I swung the axe at him and hit him in the head. I heard a cracking sound, and then blood poured from his head down to the axe handle. As I screamed at what I did, a text box popped up on the game. It said, you did what I told you to. You're now a murderer. You killed your dad. Good job. The cops are on the way to keep playing. Kill the cops when they get here to stop playing. Kill yourself. I sat there, scared, thinking, what did I do? Then I got up and said, no, I will stop playing, but by my rules. I took the axe, went behind the game, and swung it as hard as I could. Went right through the cord and got buried in the axe in the wood floor. The game's screen flashed one more time and said, games will take your life. But this time it continued to say, look what I did to you. The cops showed up at the door just after that. I not answered the door, they broke it down. They found me in the basement covered in blood and my dad dead. They asked me what happened and the only thing I could say was, games will take your life, and I pointed to the arcade game. They arrested me. Checked for us for clues. Me still only able to say, games will take your life. After 2 years in jail and 3 years in a mental facility, they still do not know what happened in the house. They never got my prints off the axe because of a hard rubber handle, so they left it where it was. My dad had plenty of money and paid off the house long ago. It was now my house. I went in, then I went straight down to the basement where it all happened. There, sitting in the corner was the arcade game, the game that took my life. Where should I end? This event is haunting my mind again! So I will end where it ended! I plan to put it back in storage, set up just like it was. I will pay it as long as I can, but it will be in someone else's hands at some point.
Only with a box.
Only with a new wood box. I have grown attached to this one. I'll hide my story in it and put it in the basement for the person who moves into the house next to find and revel my story. Have fun. If you were wondering what Il Chiffre Monster Alcohol was, it took me years to figure that out. Let's see if you can. Actually not half bad, says anonymous user number 1, 23 months ago. A different anonymous user number 1 misread dad as dog.
The fact that it starts with "Where should I start?" This game is haunting my mind, so I will start it where it started, and it ends with the same thing, but it just says I will end where it ended.
Guilty fair monster.
Those are exclamation marks.
But they are exclamation marks. Oh, I'm gonna pull up a notepad.
I brought home
Dad, good job.
Good job.
Brew Force Ciphers. Cool. Solve crypto with Force. This'll probably help. I am hoping. I have zero clue how to use it. No luck. Oh, and now Chrome's being weird and I can't. Okay. I'm just gonna Google.
You opened the fucking virus website.
I'm just gonna Google this. The only result on. Oh, it's on the Some Ordinary Gamers wiki as well. Maybe someone on here has an answer. It's simply games will take your life scrambled, though an L is used instead of an I at one point. Okay, that makes sense. What to say about this one? Unfortunately, sausages are done. I will, however, leave the... Actually, here's what I'm going to do for the stream while I'm gone. I'll bring that up, but I will change it. Gone for sausage. Will be back soon.
Hostig roll.
I'm just gonna leave him there to hunt your minds. I'll be back in a minute. I am back. And do you want to hear something? I have brought my food with me. Do you know why I have brought my food with me? Because I cannot stand to leave these stories alone for even a few minutes. Do you know what they are doing to my mind? They are hunting my mind. That's a pretty good contender for fail of the month. Like, I've not read the other ones yet, but if they are a similar sort of... If they are a similar caliber of story, I really fucking want to now, actually.
Nights at Freddy. CreepyPastas.
Pearl.avi next.
From Steven Universe.
We all know SpongeBob, right? The little yellow sponge who's always laughing, smiling, annoying his neighbour, and just all around being a goofy character established by the name of Patrick, who is his best friend. I know who that is. I know who that is. Yeah, SpongeBob from Steven Universe.
Alright.
Well, now that we have the introduction all settled, I'd like to let you all know that I have, or rather had, a very rare copy of a SpongeBob episode written by none other than Steven Hillenburg. While roaming Nickelodeon Studios in June 2008, let me tell you, the tickets to get in were not easy to get. Anyway, I ran into Mr. Hillenburg in one of the main areas of the studios. No, literally, I ran into him. See, I kind of snuck into a high security area, and, well, I ended up alerting guards, and you get the gist. But after bumping into him,
No,
I apologise.
hold on.
Yes?
I've already forgot my point. Let me reread this last sentence. Oh, yeah. Why would you say they were not easy to get and then not clarify how you got hold of them and how it was a struggle?
Yeah.
Why are you sneaking around the facility and then running headfirst into Steven Hillenburg?
Yeah, what got you to do that?
I apologise. Mr. Hillenburg looked as though he was in a daze. I waved my hand in front of him, but he continued onward past me.
Yeah, because that's rude!
This made me a little uneasy. Once he walked past, I spotted something on the ground where I had bumped into Hillenburg. It was a videotape.
Is this where we're going with this? Is this how it happens? Oops, anime bumped into you. I'm so sorry. Oh, you dropped this.
It didn't have anything of a discernible title, nor of anything remotely close to what the video was about. No sticker, nothing on the inside of a film protector, anything. Picked it up and ran very quickly out of the lot. But a week later, after my initial journey by plane back to Chicago, I remembered that I still have a tape. I don't think this guy had tickets. I think he was lying about that. I think he just broke into the place and robbed them. I think this guy just broke into Nickelodeon Studios and robbed Steven Hillenburg. Seeing as I had a VHS to DVD burner that I got for Christmas last year, amazing Christmas gift by the way, I decided to get a blank DVD hard disc and put it into the DVD side of a burner and the video inside of a VHS side. I don't think you need to specify the DVD goes in the DVD side.
It goes in the square hole.
About 30 minutes or so. It popped out the disc and video. I think that's what we're supposed to do when a disc is done burning. Anyway, so this dude's never burned. This dude's never burned a DVD before in his life. This author clearly. Anyway, I popped the DVD into my computer. Autoplay popped up, of course, because I'd modified my computer to do so. I decided to look in the folder for it. There was a movie file that went by the name of Pearl.avi. Pearl? I then double-clicked the movie file as Windows. Okay, I'm going to need some audience participation here. I then double-clicked the movie file as Windows Media Center popped up. Are you ready, kids?
No.
I explicitly said I need audience participation here. And neither of you participated. That's okay.
We participated.
Aye, Captain. It was a SpongeBob episode. I thought to myself, ooh, I haven't seen this show in so long. SpongeBob was one of my favourite shows as a 10-year-old, and hearing the nasally laughter of a sponge would make my ears absolutely sing with joy. Or metaphorically, of course.
My ears sing with joy!
Metaphorically, of course.
Yeah, metaphorically, of course. What do you mean? What does it mean to have your ears literally sing?
So as the title of the episode came up, I noticed something odd. There was no title to the episode. It just skipped right into the episode. So the title of the episode didn't come up. Okay. So you broke into Nickelodeon Studios. You robbed Steven Hillenburg of a videotape. And you're shocked to find a SpongeBob episode.
Stop.
It showed the three things I knew and loved about SpongeBob. The three main houses. The pineapple, the Easter Island head, and the rock with an antenna on it. Okay,
Those are the only things you love about
those are
SpongeBob.
the only things he loves about SpongeBob, right? So he loves. Oh, I'm making notes here. He loves 3 things about SpongeBob:
The 3 main houses.
pineapple,
He likes the characters' houses and not the actual characters. He
Rocket
watches the
antenna.
show to see the fucking houses.
The 3 housemen of the
Easter Island
apocalypse.
head. Now let's see how many things he says. Well, he's already said the nasally laughter of a sponge would make his ears absolutely sing with joy. It sounds like he loves that, right? So even before he says the 3 things he knows and loves about SpongeBob, we've already got a 4th thing he knows and loves about SpongeBob.
This is starting to become like FNAF lore. This actually reminds me of like discussing dead children.
I smelled with nostalgia as I heard SpongeBob's laughter echoing through the computer speakers. SpongeBob was watching a TV show on his little diver helmet TV. About 5 seconds after the scene transitioned to the SpongeBob house, and Pearl, Mr. Krabs' daughter, bursts through SpongeBob's door, breaking the door down as she does so. She is seen sobbing hysterically in a comedic manner. You know, many waterfalls coming out of her eyes. SpongeBob begins to walk over and asks Pearl, "What's wrong?"
What was that?
It was an attempt at a SpongeBob impression, but my throat was weird. And now I kind of taste like copper. It tastes like pennies. Anyway, Pearl replies, "Oh,
What if we were
SpongeBob,
brass?
it's terrible. Daddy won't talk to me. He hasn't said a single word to me all day. He just sits in his bedroom looking down at the floor, sighing." SpongeBob replies back to her in a bit of a heroic way. "Mr. Krabs, that seems weird. Don't worry, Pearl. I'll go talk to him." "Are you well, SpongeBob?" Pearl replies with a looking of happiness on her face. SpongeBob then nods. Pearl is seen hugging SpongeBob and saying, "Thanks, SpongeBob. You're the coralist." Do you think SpongeBob's the coralist?
Coraline.
I sure don't. Anyway,
I know, I
the
should
screen transitions with bubbles coming up. Ooh, the bubble transition. SpongeBob near a giant anchor that Mr. Krabs and Pearl live in, saying, "Cool, huh? Cha-cha!" And you hear a jazz trumpet chorus playing a chorus. SpongeBob is seen doing a comedically cool stance and look. He then knocks on Mr. Krabs' door. We then see Mr. Krabs' claw quickly grab SpongeBob and pull him in for home. "SpongeBob, me boy! I'm glad you're here. I have to tell you something." "What is it, Mr. Krabs?" SpongeBob asks. "It's about Pearl. You see, she's..." SpongeBob, confused by Mr. Krabs' stammering, asks, "She's what, Mr. Krabs?" A grim look comes from Mr. Krabs' face. "She's adopted me, boy." SpongeBob gasps. "Adopted?" A claw grabs SpongeBob's lips as they're seen being comedically stretched forward. "Shh. She might be out there listening. Now, me boyo, I want you to tell her she is adopted. I can't do it." Tears begin to well up in Mr. Krabs' eyes. "I just can't." SpongeBob looks shocked at this. But Mr. Krabs, I can't do that. I would break a fragile heart." "SpongeBob, that's an order," Mr. Krabs says with sadness and frustration in his eyes. "Yes, sir," said SpongeBob, whilst he saluted and began to run out panting. I, at this point, was starting to get a bit uneasy. This wasn't the SpongeBob SquarePants I knew back in the day. This was something else. Something more adult. Now, even though I like more adult stuff, this episode just made me really uneasy. Telling someone adopted is not an easy task. Trust me, horrid results when it's told to you by means of someone whose parents told you to tell that person. The last time I had to do that, I had to coax someone out of committing suicide. Anyway, back to the episodes.
Okay.
He just
Alright,
goes-
bit of a hell of a side note
He
there.
just
Oh my
goes
god.
out on weird side, like, "Oh, the tickets were not easy to get. Anyway, I ran into Mr. Hillenberg." Or, "I had to talk someone out of suicide." Anyway, back to the episode.
My balls.
The screen transitions again back to SpongeBob's house where Pearl is seen sniffling as SpongeBob pops his head in the busted doorway. Pearl looks up and immediately is overjoyed to see SpongeBob. "SpongeBob," she calls out with a tone, "did you find out why Daddy won't talk to me?" SpongeBob asks. SpongeBob says timidly as he clears his throat, "Yes, I did." Pearl says in a concerned tone, "What's wrong, SpongeBob?" Then hears SpongeBob thoughts. "What do I do? Should I tell her? Or should I lie to Mr. Krabs? No, lying wouldn't do a thing. Mr. Krabs would probably dock my pay to half a penny a day if I did that." That would be a pay rise for SpongeBob. Get your law right. He pays Mr. Krabs to let him keep working there. He has a negative wage. This made me do a small chuckle, because I knew Mr. Krabs as a cheapskate. My chuckle fell down as I heard SpongeBob start. I say, Pearl, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're adopted. Pearl's eyes opened wide and both SpongeBob and I cringed. I then heard a laugh coming from the computer speakers. It was Pearl's laugh. That's a good one, SpongeBob. But really, why won't Daddy talk to me? Pearl, it's the truth. Mr. Krabs told me to come over here to tell you. What? No, you're lying. Pearl then slaps SpongeBob very realistically and storms out of the house. Hyper-realistic SpongeBob slap. Okay. We then see Pearl walking up to the front door with tears in her eyes, furious as she pushes open the door. Forcibly. The door's busted open. Never mind.
Realistic slap.
She sees her father and holding back tears. Daddy, please tell me that it's not true. Please tell me SpongeBob is lying. Mr. Krabs begins to tear up in a shaky voice tells Pearl, yes, 'tis true. When you were a baby and while I was out scrounging around with my metal detector near the outskirts of Bikini Bottom looking for loose change, I stumbled upon you and your mother. Or what were left of her after the scallops got to her.
The scallop.
It then transitions to a flashback sequence which to this day makes you cringe. It showed Pearl's mother's eyes gouged out with one hanging, her tongue out and somewhat chewed off, her fins only bone. Fins aren't made of bone. Her ribcage skin ripped off, revealing decaying muscle, and her throat had a hole in it showing the larynx, windpipe, and esophagus. I turned away at this point, still listening. I found your mother laying there, morbidly decayed, when I heard her crying coming from nearby. The crying was
Can
you.
I just say,
Yeah.
I can still visualize this as one of those stupid, realistic, grotesque SpongeBob things, especially with cartoonish bone in places that aren't bone.
This
Like
is
when it just does a cutaway to
Yeah.
one of those disgusting scenes.
like this is not out of character for like modern SpongeBob.
Especially that fucking game.
Yes. I started crying. I found you were laying there morbidly decayed when I heard a crying coming from nearby. The crying was you. It looked like you'd just come out of your mother. I scooped you up, took you home and cleaned you up. I kept you around for a good 16 years. I felt it were better to tell you now when you're old enough to understand. I started crying at this precise point. This became too adult, too real for the happy little show I used to know and love. So he loves the show as well. That's 5 things he loves. The 3 things he loves about SpongeBob are the pineapple, the rock with the antenna, the Easter Island heads, SpongeBob's laughter, and the show in general. Okay. I wanted to click the X in the top right corner, but I just couldn't turn away. Pearl ran out crying. No other comedic tears either. These looked realistic, almost human. SpongeBob, me boy! Go after her! These tiny legs won't catch up to her. Please, boyo! SpongeBob nodded and began to run after Pearl, calling her name. Pearl began to run faster, and SpongeBob began to struggle keeping up with her. Pearl stopped at the top of a high coral cliff, turned around and told SpongeBob, stop! She put her fin out. Do you know what it's like to not know your mother? To be with some creepy crustacean all your life thinking he's your dad, even though you two look completely different? I mean, how can a crab have a sperm whale for a child? I'm sorry, you didn't realise you were adopted?
I also like how the tears not being the cartoony waterfalls came up here after the. I do like that they set that up.
Yeah.
It's a small thing, but
Even if it's completely fucking stupid.
Pearl's voice was getting very shaky. She was ready to
tears
start
actually running down her face.
sobbing uncontrollably. I don't think you do. To be lied to all your life, to not know your true family. I don't want to be lied to anymore. Pearl then began to proceed to fall backwards into the seemingly endless chasm. SpongeBob yelled out, "Wait, Pearl!" and ran down the cliff slope where he just ran after Pearl. He ran as fast as he could, but couldn't get down to the bottom before he heard a loud, disgusting crack. I even cringed at sound. It sounded like a bone snapping in two as SpongeBob approaches Pearl. She seemed face up, with her head violently pushed to the side. Her neck had snapped right in two. Her eyes were a grey blue now, and about as soulless as any person who had succumbed to death. SpongeBob walked up to her silently, his shoes no longer making that funny squeaking sound. He dropped to his knees realistically next to a corpse and began to sob humanly and uncontrollably. He hugged the corpse, looking up to the sky and began saying, "Why, Neptune, why? She was too young, why?" This caused me to sob right along with the sponge. The episode of Cut Black and was finished. I couldn't believe it. Why would Hillenberg make such a demented and depressing episode? I went to bed after this. The next day, after coming home from work, I planned to extract the episode onto my hard drive, put it on YouTube in about 2 parts. It was a 15-minute episode, of course. When I got home, I saw everything was a mess. Papers were everywhere, my TV was gone, my computer and its accompanying tower, mouse and the USBs out of it gone. My VHS DVD burner was gone. Oh shit, I've been robbed! Where's the video? Where is it? I said as I began to look for the video of the episode. I couldn't find it. That was the only VHS tape I had in my possession, and I guess the robbers figured it'd be worth money. I kind of figured as well too, so suffice to say, I'm unable to provide a video of a source. I apologise and hope you'll all heed my warning of picking up any strange tape in a famous studio lot after bumping into a famous cartoon writer. I don't think anyone will see as suicidemouse.avi was up on YouTube. Once again, let the story be a warning to picking up strange tapes. You never know what you're going to end up watching.
This.
It's a SpongeBob creepypasta.
A lot of the writing for it fits. Even though it strays.
Oh shit, I've been robbed. Anyway, back to the episode.
What does the comments say?
Unrelated, but who thinks it'd be cool if every fun of a while, for FOTM, fail of the month, instead of deciding which creepypasta is the worst, we decide which troll pasta is the funniest. Pika's pasta rating, written by Very Hands of a Fairy, 5 out of 10. Kinda sucks, actually kinda decent, just like any other stupid sponge bomb paster. Oh, I'm sorry, spooge bomb. The main guy works at Nickelodeon, gets skilly tape, and then boom, blood. The only saving grace was that Pearl was in it. And whoever writes about he, so like, good job. I also like how they put more effort and detail into this. But still, it's pretty bad. Pika, holy crap, I keep forgetting. Ah!
Fuck you, Pikachu. Not very anonymous.
Hands are furry. Okay.
That's nice.
I guess throwing in adult stuff in kid shows is apparently extremely traumatic to this dude. Mwahaha, I am an evil comment, and I will destroy the comment below me with my trusty one army. One, Joe Mama. What the fuck is the comment above me? This was posted 6 months before that comment. I'm sorry, 5 months before. He dropped to his knees realistically, but fuck does that mean?
Oh my fucking god.
An alternative ending. Oh shit, I've been robbed is still in that ending, by the way.
Here's an alternate ending. Do you know what it's like to not know your mother? Do you have some creepy conversation all your life? Thinking he's your dad even though you two look completely different? I mean, how could a crab have a sperm when I was a child? Paul's voice was getting very shaky. He was ready to start sobbing uncontrollably. I don't think you do. To be lied to all your life, to not know your true family. I don't want to be lied to anyone. Wait! SpongeBob said. I'm sorry I had to tell you that you dropped it. How can I make it up to you? Paul thought for a few seconds. Then she walked up to the sponge and whispered into his ear. What? I've never tried it before. I'll go get crabs. It cuts to the crusty crab. Then cutting the crabs off, his SpongeBob breaks through the door so fast you can see him for 2 days. Did you know? SpongeBob whispers into his ear. Well, she is called a sperm whale after all. Pearl, SpongeBob and crabs enter SpongeBob house and they bang. The clapping, the running. Ah! Once it was all over, all three lay down on the ground and fall asleep. It then cut to black and that's where it ended. I couldn't believe it. Why would Hillenberg make such a demented and horny episode? I went to bed after this and had a wet dream about me and Pearl doing it. The next day after coming home from work, I tried to extract the episode of my hard drive and
What
put it
the
on
fuck?
YouTube in about 2 parts. It was a 15-minute episode, of course. When I got home, I saw everything was a mess. Papers were everywhere, my TV was gone, my computer and its accompanying tower, mouse, and any USBs I had in it were gone. And my VHS too, DVD player, was gone. Oh shit, I've been robbed. Where's the video? Where is it? I said I had to look for the video of a contained episode. I couldn't find it. That was the only VHS tape I had in my possession. And I guess Robert's figured it would be worth money. I kind of figured as well too. So firstly, I'm unable to provide a video of source. I apologise and hope you'll all heed my warnings of picking up any strange tape in a famous studio lot after bumping into a famous cartoon writer. I don't think anyone will, seeing as hornymouse.avi was up on YouTube. Once again, let the story be a warning to picking up strange tapes. You never know what you're going to end up watching.
Was this written by an anonymous poster?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like...
Categories: deletion, log refugees, bad creepypasta, lost episodes, SpongeBob, pointless violence, file extensions, suicide, blatant rip-offs. I like that there's a category for that. Pages with grammar that doesn't suck. I like that there's a category for that. Hyper-realistic, classics, old shit.
Hornymouse.avi.
Right. I suppose
I
next...
can't believe this dude just written alternate ending. We're all in. What the fuck? The
next...
screenshot of Brian dying in his sleeping bag while squealing.
Let's get some context for this. Let's get some context for this. Bored of what I see every day. I want to try out something new. I watch a lot of shows these days. More than I used to before. But one show in particular that's one of my most favourite that I've been watching since day one will be none other than Family Guy. It's been part of my daily life ever since I was 5, and I know that this show was not for kids, but I still like Family Guy.
How old are they now? Holy fucking shit, this person's irredeemable.
Okay. When did Family Guy start? 21st September 1999. If they were 5 at the time, that's 25 years, they're 30 now. When I got a message from a friend telling me they're going to be having a sleepover in a week, not only were we extra popcorn, and my friend is making noodles, but the main focus of the night will be a Family Guy marathon. Honestly, popcorn, noodles, and a Family Guy marathon sounds like a good time. I went over to the sleepover and after saying one thing, we went into the kitchen to make all of the food before we started Family Guy marathon. I used a special kind of butter that I imported from Germany that made popcorn taste way better, and it's spread on better than typical store butter. One quick. And then we all went upstairs into Rod's room. And we started watching all of the episodes. We watched about like 20 episodes all night. And that's not a lot of Family Guy to watch in one night. Eventually saw an ad come up on Netflix saying there's a secret episode, but you have to find it in order to see it. So we tried looking all over Hulu and no luck. Eventually decided to look it up on YouTube to see if that would help. But now, however, not even people on Reddit even knew for a secret episode of the series, so we decided to go. Well, even deeper to find this, since we did at least see on some CreepyPastas blog about the existence of it. And pretty soon, we went into the dark web using my VPN and started to look further. Eventually, we stumbled across a very basic HTML website that clearly looks like it was from the 90s. That's Family Guy memorabilia. Oh. Website from the 90s, author. Are you sure about that?
Very well, what, sorry?
The first Family Guy first aired in 1999. And when we were looking, we stumbled across a video titled Brian's Flea Screech, and it said it was made between 2011 and 2012. We all instantly knew this was a secret episode they were referring to, so we downloaded it. And I ran my antivirus software in case it might do something to my life. After it all downloaded, we turned off all the lights. Do we conceive this better? I've done most of the Family Guy episode, and I've never even knew about this particular one. Not even any of the creators at the time, or even Seth said anything about it. The episode didn't have the info. All it had was piano music, for it was even though sounding sad, a little off. Then a voice in an old cell phone filter started saying something. Didn't really sound audible enough. But I think it was possible saying the weights of internal justice. And this is what it's gonna be! And the screen faded to white for a second. Then the music stopped and it went black. Then it played a white text of a background saying Brian's flea screech, as if for some kind of test or something. All a little confused, but we're moving closer. Then it cuts to the outside of a house with music, same jazz music playing. Then cuts to Pete, Terror, packing a suitcase. Then it cuts to everyone packing something of some sort, as if we were going on vacation somewhere. Everyone was slightly off, I will say. Peter was sad, slightly mournful, as if something awful had happened. Lois looked pissed. Meg looked weirdly happy, and her room was more neat and clean. Stu was sad and was packing his inventions, and Vince wouldn't fit in a suitcase. Chris looked depressed, as much as his dad was. It almost seemed like he had a hatred of his father based on his body language. After we were done packing, they all went downstairs and gathered up at the door. And Peter looked at his family and all and says, "Oh, because of a vacation that we go to, I'm going to miss Brian, because he's a dog and my friend." Then cuts to a video of a hand on a foggy glass as if in the shower and in black and white. Then it cuts back to the family and Peter looks even more depressed and remorseful. Then Brain walks into the room and asks everyone what's going on and why they're packaging. Brian seems strangely happy and joyful, almost to the point of being out of character. Lois looks at him and says, "Why it had to be this way?" Then Stewie sticks a sticky note on his forehead, which he takes off and reads, "You're one true hero and a friend." Then he tries getting his one suitcase with his stuff very quickly, and Stewie stops him, says to him sadly and remorsefully, "It's over, Brian. It's over." Ben hugs him. The family will rush out the door and get in the car and drive away to the airport, leaving poor Brian alone and not explaining where they're going at all. I was thinking this may have been a fan animation or a meme, because in fact something like this would never happen in the show. This episode was non-canon. We continued watching. Then a shot of house again. Then a shot of Brian went upstairs and started going from room to room, looking at everyone's bedrooms with choir music playing in the background. Then he stands on the ledge of the stairs and looks at his paws. And suddenly we see that he has realistic-looking human hands and he grasps them. Then we hear a weird squeal going off in the background. Then the same hand in the shower from before. Again, this time scratching against the glass, and a text showed on the screen very quickly. Went back and paused that part, and the text said, "It's over." When it goes to Brian, you're going back from the store with more groceries for stay at home. Pretty soon it focuses on the shot where he puts the milk in the fridge. But he stops and looks up. He sees a flea on the ceiling. Then it falls and tries to dodge out of the way. Eventually falls on top of his head. Then tries scratching like a dog, and no matter how hard he tried, the flea never came off. Then he just gave up and tried to live with it. As he was eating his dinner, he made a parfait using rare berries, but when he looked at the berries closely, the berries looked strangely weird, and it wasn't animation. They looked like they didn't even belong in the shot. We zoomed in on it, and they looked rather realistic. We then realised he didn't get the berries from the store, but from the backyard. Right after the sequence of him eating, he then went back to walking around the house, and shortly afterwards he started to feel sick. We then realised the idea supposedly was that he was eating poisonous berries, and he was driven insane at this point due to his family going on vacation without him. And violent music started playing. It sounded very cell phone quality. It also sounded distorted. And out of pitch as he started to stumble around feeling sick. Then it cuts to him in the middle of a piano room and he looks down. And then suddenly he cuts to Peter looking horrified at something. And then opening his mouth and making the same screeching noise from before. Then it cuts to Brian. Now his face is starting to deform. Then it shows Lois. And she also looks dreaded about something as well. Pretty soon it shows Brian's eyes are just scribbles, almost being completely gone. His mouth now being way wider than usual. His fur was all messed up looking. His nose was very pointy. He then stood up the stairs and started making a screeching noise. He looked scared at first. Then as it flashed all around about faces of everyone else on vacation, he started to become happier and happier. Then he screeched even more. Then he went into the middle of the room where the rug is and lies down on the floor. He looked up joyfully at the ceiling and we saw the sun and the faces of everyone he ever knew flashing the clouds, and the sun looking down on him smiling. Then we hear a reversed scream, then we hear a crowd screaming, and then Brian makes the screeching noise again. His mouth kept getting bigger and bigger as he lays there on the rug, continuing to make the noise over and over at the ceiling. And then after a while of doing all this, then he gets up and then he goes into Meg's bedroom. Brian closes the door and finds a sleeping bag, and then gets inside of it to die from being poisoned by the berries and the flea, which made the effects worse. So that's the context for this image, I suppose.
Wait, Tomar voices Tom Trench in the pilot?
Yes. Then, as he lays down in the sleeping bag, we see him shaking from the poison. As he dies, he sheds a couple of tears as it zooms in on him hyperventilating. While it zooms in, It flashes clips of all of the members of the family and all of their friends being tortured and hurt in many different ways in a dark room with a dark figure whipping them, playing loud music so they become deaf, breaking their teeth, and even raping them.
What?
It didn't show it, but it was implied, and it showed the figure's devious face smiling while we hear the family and even all of Peter's friends screaming in agony, all in the same room as one of the... Then it shows the hand on the window banging and looking like they're dying, while it's cutting back and forth between all of these footages at once. As the scenes flash more, Brian begins to screech while dying in the sleeping bag in that same screech again, and then he starts to do it even louder and harder too. Pretty soon the family and Peter's friends all pass out from the injuries. The hand on the window bangs one more time before slipping off, and Brian screeches so much that then, eventually, after a couple of seconds, he screeches for the very last time, almost screaming like a girl now, and piercingly loud, before he dies, with his mouth open and his corpse looking happy. Then he zooms into Brian's mouth, and things go from bad to worst. This is the worst. The next scene was Brian on mushrooms that didn't appear in between 2011 and 2012, including 2013 as well. This includes a few changes to the screen. As we were saying, the scene goes on what it should be, but Peter, Lois, and Meg save us Brian. It's all your fault, Brian. We hate you so much. We hope you die and burn in hell, until Brian fell to his death because the floor was falling apart. It cut to white screen and a voice would say, Brian. That's Stewie's voice, and Brian was seen floating in the air. Stewie appeared, who said Brian before Stewie jump scares us. To cut to black for 5 seconds and faded to show us the house at sunset, showing that Brian has finally passed away. And then cuts to black for 10 seconds, then a white text says 1 month later. I know what's going to happen next after Brian's death. Shows the house. Oh, you don't. Oh, so you don't even have to watch it. You know what's going to happen next. Shows the house. 3 cars show up. It was Peter, Lois, Meg, and Chris, and Stewie, and his friends and their family. They're alive and well. I thought they died, but they're alive now. Then Peter and his family goes to the house, and they're left for 3 months later because they go to vacation, and Brian didn't respond. This left Peter confused that Brian doesn't speak after 1 month. Peter thinks Brian could be sleeping, and he tells him he needs to go upstairs. Peter goes upstairs to see Brian. Peter checks the room, so it was Peter's and Lois' bedroom, Chris's bedroom, and Stewie's bedroom. But when Peter checks Meg's bedroom, he was shocked to see Brian's dead body, which was rotten and decayed. He said this. Brian? Peter walks to Brian's corpse and put Brian out of sleeping bag. Peter tries to shake Brian, but Brian doesn't respond it. Peter begins to cry and shout at Brian to wake up. It says this. Come on, wake up, Brian. Meanwhile, Lois, Chris, and Meg hear Peter screaming from the upstairs. They go to upstairs, only to see Peter hugging Brian's corpse. Lois, Chris, and Meg are shocked to see this, and Stu begins to cry after he saw Brian's corpse. Peter let out a scream while he's crying because they left Brian to die, and it faded to white screen for 10 seconds. And then it plays sad music as it shows a black text that says, Goodbye, family and friends, for all of those memories we had. And then it shows us credits with the sad music playing. That's how this episode ended. After it ended, we were all so shocked. And one of my friends started crying because of how depressing that truly was. I took screenshots from the video so I can tell everyone about this for later. I was so sickened. I didn't feel like eating my own buttered popcorn because I was so sick to my stomach. When I decided to finish the movie part and just go straight to bed. I still have nightmares about the horrible sight of Brian dying. And all the characters of Family Guy also dying in horrible ways to this day after that sleepover. The next day after that happened, I was so shocked. And after going back to school, I suddenly got a Twitter message from Seth MacFarlane. Even though I'm not following him, and he said, I am so sorry we had to see our episode. The episode you saw was originally an unused and unseen Halloween special, but it was scrapped due to how messed up that episode is. I watched the episode just like you watched this episode, and he has promised me on behalf of my fans not to tell everyone of this episode that you and I watched. Even though he apologised, I still don't forgive him, because I still have the aforementioned nightmares. And if you found this episode that me and my friends watched, please do not watch this episode. If you haven't heard my warning about this episode, you'll regret watching it. Thank you for taking your time for reading this. Good point. How would you die in a sleeping bag in that position? The legs aren't supposed to move like that one inside. Holy crap, Lois. Brian died again. Yeah. Remove the scenes where the Griffins and their friends die, and it wouldn't change shit. Like, you could get rid of half of it didn't work. You could get rid of like half of this paragraph, and it would be just fine. Like, I don't need to know about what the devious figure was doing to the family, except not actually doing to the family. That's pointless. You fuck. There's only one last bad creepypasta left to read for the fails of the month. The profile picture.
Doesn't look like too much to scroll.
It started when my girlfriend and I were taking stupid gore pictures for amusement. One we took was of me.
Hold on. Oh.
Oh no.
One we took was of me holding a knife to her throat. I thought it was pretty badass, so I made it my profile picture on Facebook. Granted, not this idea.
You fucking idiot.
Later on that night, I went through my notifications. Picture had a lot of people leaving comments from, dude, you're so fucking sick. What felt so cool about holding a knife to a fucking girl's neck? To, God hates you for your pride in that. I do have a few hundred friends on Facebook. I should have seen it coming. There was one comment from someone whose name was just a member Tilda symbol, or a tilde, or squiggle, which was odd, because Facebook has at least 3 rules to prevent that. The comment was just a smiley face. I didn't think much of it at the time, except for one of my friends found a glitch. I was not really interested in finding out who at the time. I just wanted to leave the photo because with the 30 to 40 negative replies, I figured it would just be better to remove the picture and not worry about more death threats, rather than try to explain it was fake. I clicked the options button, delete photo. You sure you want to delete this photo? Yes. There was an unusually long loading period. I clicked refresh and my browser closed. I didn't think much of it because shit like this happens all the time. I run Windows Vista. I reopened Chrome and went back to Facebook. Picture was still there, so it was planned for Facebook and never got the message later. 10 notifications appeared in that time. More people going on and on about how I'm a deranged lunatic, except one from Google, which again, another emoticon. This time it was an unsure or nervous face. I went to delete it again, but as soon as I clicked, it was gone and my profile picture returned to the default blue silhouette. I browsed through my old pictures, testing it was my new profile picture. I picked an old one from back when I had my emo bangs dyed black and red from 2008. I got a lot of compliments on it before, so I figured why not. Set it up and returned to my profile. Picture of my girlfriend and I in the flank post was back, only added a noticeable red tint to it. I knew it was just a glitch because of all that timeline bullshit. I pride myself in being able to avoid for so long, but it sent shivers down my spine because it gave a real creepy feeling to the image. I clicked refresh, thinking that would solve the issue. Of course it would, why wouldn't it? It did! My picture was now younger, emo and me. But nothing but that red tinted picture was stuck in my mind like a whisper, too faint to know what it was saying. Yes?
I knew it was a glitch because of all that timeline bullshit that I pride myself in being able to avoid for so long. What does that mean?
I think at one point there was glitches in regard to the Facebook timeline.
Oh, Facebook time.
Yeah.
I was so confused about. Is it just an element we're not fucking told about?
But do you think that this was some sort of Undertale thing?
I continued on with my pointless life, looking at endless pictures on Meebase. 10 minutes passed before I heard the baroo sound, a signal someone cares about my existence. So with more excitement than I would like to admit, I switched tabs right away to see who messaged me. For some reason there was no message, but my display picture was back to a red tinted joke picture, which is odd, because when I switched tabs I stayed on this page, and if an image were to be changed I'd have to refresh the page. I got a notification just then, so I checked it, and big surprise, another fucking comment on the picture. The picture would have been unaffected by my delete attempts other than a bit of discoloration. I clicked it, to find out how much more of a twist. Just find out how much of a twisted fuck I am. There was only one comment on it. Guess who? Squiggle posted another face. A sad face. I get why it's called the profile picture. I'm disappointed by the lack of an image of a profile picture though. This is when I decided this was pretty weird, so I clicked the the approximately equal sign. Told her. There was 30 seconds when nothing happened. Then my screen turned black. A sound came from my speakers almost like a young girl's giggle, but generated through a Jacob's ladder. It was almost demonic. I touched nothing and listened as the electro giggles turned into electro cries, then into electro screams, then fell into silence. My heart was pounding. Literally fucking pounding on my ribs like it was a homeless man in a drunk tank trying to escape by hitting the bars. I started to hyperventilate. Everything went black. I woke up on the floor. And all I could recall was swimming in warm milk. Then I was lying in blood. I was covered in it. Warm milk was been what my mind equated with blood to during my unconscious state. I started to panic, checking myself for injuries and causes of blood when I noticed both my wrists were cut to the bone. I fainted again.
I thought that's
When-
what I farted.
When I came to the second time, the blood was gone, my clothes were not stained, and my wrists were fine, almost. There was twin scars on each, no doubt from the cuts, but if they healed already, how the hell long was I out? It's been weeks, and why the fuck did I wake up in the same spot, and who took care of me? Immediately I stood up and looked at my computer. It was on my Facebook profile, everything normal. That damned picture was still there. I looked at the date, April 12th, same day. What the hell? I mean, yeah, I can believe hallucinating with blood, but these scars are real, 100% real. I calmed myself down. Yes, calm yourself down. I made myself believe it's just after effects of blackout, and after a while I'll stop saying things. Mind you, I had no fucking clue what caused blackout to begin with. I'd completely forgotten about Squiggle and the electro screams. I sat in my chair and continued doing the last thing I remembered, which was deleting profile picture. I clicked on it and got a notification at the same time. I didn't have to check it because I saw it. I commented on the picture this from Squiggle this time with a crying face. I glanced my eyes back to the picture and I jumped out of my seat. In a fraction of a second, it took me to see the clan on the picture change. No refresh. No upload. Nothing was even clicked. I'm searching for the same picture, same red discoloration. The only difference was the word kill spammed across the whole thing from top to bottom in a slight darker red than the tint. Cowering myself again, I made myself believe I was just dealing with a sick, demented, and very skilled hacker. I clicked the homepage, but there's no news feed. As if I was on a brand new account. I didn't have any friends or feeds or group memberships. Everything was gone, but that can't be. I have 5,000 friends, right? I clicked over my homepage. All posts I've made were deleted. The only post on my wall was from Squiggle. It only contained the angry emoticon from MSN. Looking over my friends list, the number was normal, but all the friends on the list plainly visible were named Squiggle. The terrifying part was all their pictures with the same demonic, red-tinted fucking picture with the exact same layer of writing, kill, kill, kill. I didn't even bother to look at the rest because I knew I would find the same thing 5,000 times. I had enough. Whoever Squiggle was had successfully scared me off the internet and my computer altogether. I walked over to the wall and knees shaking. I bent over and pulled the cord from the wall. I stood up, turned around, and holy fuck, my girlfriend was standing there, her head bowed and her bangs hid her face in the shadow. Holy shit, baby, you scared the shit out of me. What are you doing here? I noticed she was wearing a dress. It was a blue dress made out of an almost jean-like material. It had white polka dots and I recognised it, but I couldn't remember from where. Her arms drooped to a side of her pale. I could see scars on the wrist. They're the same scars I have. The exact fucking same. You okay, baby? You're scaring me. She began to giggle in the voice of a little girl with very, very disturbing and shocking noise thrown in. The electronic giggle, I froze in fear as she started to walk towards me slowly. When she got about 1 foot away from my face, she stopped, started to giggle. Then raised her head. Her eyes were backwards. I could see the optic nerve stretched around the top, pulsating. She stared at me, or rather stared at her own brain. I didn't recognise the dress. I saw her wearing in the picture I saw at her grandparents' house. It always made me think of her innocence. I could not speak, I could not move, I could not even shake. I felt no physical existence as fear washed over me. Her face started to boil. She whispered slowly, "You were almost right." What? I blinked and she was gone. I then fell to my knees and cradled my entrails. Oh hey, there's a profile picture, there's a picture for it there. This has almost every word that you shouldn't put in a creepypasta. Hey, another pages with grammar that doesn't suck. It started when my girlfriend and I were taking stupid gore pictures for amusement. Is one hell of an opening. So, I guess now that we've been for all 4 of those, voting time. Which one of these bad creepypastas is the worst?
What games will take your life is my favorite.
I want to vote for games will take your life, because this should be for stuff that's like bad in a funny way. It's the troll pasta wiki, for Christ's sake.
It deserving of a reward.
Yeah, it's deserving of reward. Well, I get... Fail of the month isn't really a reward, though.
Well, the Family Guy one has 0 substance until they randomly throw in weird, disgusting shit.
Yeah, that's by
So, like,
far the worst.
that one's bad in a completely different way.
Yeah, Games Will Take Your Life is bad in a funny way. Ryan's Fleece Reach is bad in a bad way.
Pearl's bad in a... It's fittingly bad. Profile Picture's just... not criminal, but it's...
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, Profile Picture is nonsense. I don't like Profile Picture. Games Will Take Your Life is bad in a funny way. Pearl.avi...
The best part of the profile picture is the first fucking sentence.
The first sentence is a hell of an opener, but otherwise, it's not the best.
I have to choose Games Will Take Your Life because it's hunting his mind.
It's hunting his mind, yes. I look up to my second monitor and I see the hunter in the bottom left of the stream, and I vote for Games Will Take Your Life.
That one was the most entertaining of them all by a landslide.
Yep.
It was consistently funny the entire way through.
Game.
Let's go featured pastas.
Scroll down a bit. I want to select one just by name.
Yeah.
Mario says the fuck word.
Metallica.exe.
What?
Metallica.exe.
Okay.
Minecraft Satan Edition. Holy shit, some of these. Mr. Beast tricked me.
Okay. We'll do Metallica.exe. And we'll do Mario Says... Oh, Mario Says the fuck word. We'll do it first.
Only plays video.
Once. I remember I was playing Mario 64. I was playing as the Italian figure Mario. After some rigorous jumping, I failed once and the Mario fell to his doom. He came back from the painting and said, "Mamma mia! I got the fucking killed!" As he walked outside. I asked myself, did Mario swear? Did I hear that from the video? This experience traumatized me to where I would never play Mario. Until one night I was playing Super Mario 64. Well, traveling through the die docks, upon my usual business, Mario turned his head in a 40-degree angle and said, "Shh, fuck!" Then my mother comes into my room and asks, "Are you swearing?" I said, "It was Mario, not me." My mother grabbed me by the ear and she threw me into the bathroom and I went, "Oof." She jumped up my face. She did the ground pound. She swung me around by my hair and said, "So long, gay Bowser." That night, I decided to revisit the docks for further inspection. This time, Mario pivoted his face towards the camera and said, "Cunt." My mother ran in holding the Mario manual and started jolting me across the mouth with it. Then she started cutting the webbing of my fingers with it. She scratched my lip and said, "If you ever act like that no good Mario again, I'll pull off your..." That's when my father went in with Yoshi the Dino Bog and went, "Bye-bye," and smacked me in the face.
I'm pretty sure this is like just adapted off of a bit that they did because I remember them saying this shit like a ground pounding her son and Mario pretending to make the kid swear.
Hold on. Go to the bottom comment. Wait, the author died because someone hit him with a close to man. It's horrifying to read. I hope you recover.
Agreed. But mothers should be sent to Mario Land. What the fuck?
This is scary.
What the fuck? Wow. Oh no, he said the fuck word. The fuck word. Bro out of 10. What the fuck? Mother should be sent to Mario Land. Yes. Why did Mario say that? Is he stupid? This is a very spooky story.
Trigger warning Metallica is how this starts.
No, it starts with my friend, John Metallica fan 117, wrote this after he died and sent it to me to warn me.
John Metallica fan.
Wrote this after he died. What is it with people saying things have been written after death?
Trigger warning, Metallica. So, if you don't like Metallica, then get out. On Ewan, Metallica, CreepyPasta located. Big warning, Metallica. Here is the story now. I love heavy metal. So obviously I'm a huge fan of Metallica. They are a very cool band. One day I was listening to Metallica. Right before James Hetfield, who was the lead singer of Metallica, said, "Ooh, yeah, yeah." I heard a knock at my door. I went to open the door and open it. I opened the door and I saw that there were 2 pieces of paper with Metallica written on them in Sharpie brand fine point permanent marker. I went to tell Dave, who's my best friend, who got Metallica tickets. But then I realised I would look fucking stupid because it's just 2 pieces of paper with Metallica on it. I looked on Google for Metallica tickets and they were too expensive, so I decided for everyone's like, oh. They did, holy shit, we're going to see Metallica at a concert. Let me grab my long hair from the upstairs kitchen. And put on my and we went.
We're going to see the Metallica. Let me grab my long hair from the upstairs kitchen.
Upstairs the kitchen. I put on my Metallica shirt.
And we went to the place where the Metallica show was. I showed him my ticket, and he said, "Hey buddy, nice ticket. The concert is in there." He pointed to the door where the concert was, and it looked like there was hyper-realistic blood coming out of the door to where the concert was. I didn't forget anything of it. Because it is heavy metal, and there is blood sometimes. Went into the concert and went to our seat, which was in the mosh pit. Motorhead walked on stage, which is weird, because Lemmy Motorhead is die. And I said, "What the fuck, Lemmy, you are dead." And Lemmy said, "No, you are dead," which I thought was weird, because Lemmy can't normally hear you from the stage. But I said, whatever. And Motorhead played Ace of Spades. But I know something was weird when Lemmy sang Ace of Spades, because Phil Taylor and Fast Eddie were also there. And they are also both dead, because they both died years ago. When Lemmy said the Ace of Spades, instead he said the Ace of Die, and his eyes turned into a hyper-realistic black, and hyper-realistic blood started coming out of them, and then so did Phil and Eddie. Okay. I talked about this a bit. I think I might have done it on stream. No, I didn't. But I talked about this a bit with you, Charlie. But the Ace of Spades as a playing card represents death. So you don't need to change it to the Ace of Die. Motorhead was done playing, and Lemmy pointed at me and said, "No fake tickets, dumbass." And then hyper-realistic blood came out of his mouth, and Motorhead died and crumpled into dust and floated away. I was really scared now, because the ticket guy said it was okay, but clearly it wasn't. I turned around and Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, and Dave said, "I got fired!" And then he started bleeding everywhere, and his eyes were also hyper-realistic black and also hyper-realistic red.
Dave was now Dave Mustaine from Megadeth.
Metallica came out, and it was even more weird because Jam had long hair and Lars wasn't balding. They started playing Enter Sandman, and when Jam hit, he said "Exit Light" instead. He looked right at me, and his eyes were red, and he said "Exit Venue," and instead of "Enter Night," he said "Fake Ticket." I knew it was the song. James was going to say "Ooh, yeah, yeah," but I was caught off guard when the stage was covered in blood, just like the hyper-realistic blood I saw in the door, except there was more of it. James said, "Ooh, no, no," and then the scariest of all, Large started playing drums on time. Then Dave clutched my shoulder, except now he was a skeleton, and he said, "What? No warning, no second chance. I got Dave Mustaine dead, but he got fired from Metallica, which was kind of funny to me because my friend's name was Dave and he got turned into Dave Mustaine, but also it was kind of scary. Then Kurt Hamlet played a wah wah pedal solo, but it sounded like babies crying. And when James said, "Master of puppets, I'm pulling your strings," and then Curtis's guitar strings became puppet strings, and they held me down while James, Kurt Russell, and Lard started killing me and eating my organs. Cliff Burton was also there. Cliff Burton is dead too, which is very scary. Cliff looked at me and said, "Don't use fake tickets or we'll kill you again," and even though I was dead, I said, "Okay." Then I woke up, and I was listening to Metallica again. But the scariest part of the story is I knew I was still dead. The end.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Now he's addicted to how they're killing him.
It must have been listening
Damn
to
straight.
Spanker, that's why he's still dead.
Right.
What
What
the
else?
actual fuck?
What is the wiper?
The wiper. Okay.
Well, it's a unused slot mystery character you don't want to know.
The wiper. And then
There was
Mega
a
Man
toilet
Bird.
incident in Impulse Game
Oh, God.
Studios.
Oh no!
I knew it, I called it.
Joey was taking a big, fat crud. It felt so good. Things were going just right for him until he looked over the toilet roll. What? No. Out of toilet paper. Oh, shit. So he started looking around. His phone was next to him, sitting on the sink. He couldn't call for help, but that very moment the phone rang. Said it was a local call. So imagine it was someone who called him on a different number, embarrassed to answer the phone. Hello? I don't know if that sniff picked up, but I did a sniff.
You did.
Are you Joseph? Who's this? It's me, Joey. The wiper. The wiper, Joey. What? I'll be over soon to help, Joey. Hey, who are you? Silence. Joey Singapore. Who's that man? And why was he coming at such an inappropriate time? He's come to call a friend of his and scroll through names until he hit Bryce. He called him up and he answered. Hey, Bryce said, I'm a friend. Hey, Bryce. This is going to sound stupid, but I don't have any toilet paper and I'm stuck here. Can you help me? I guess, yeah, it'll take me a bit though. Okay, but hurry up. Bye, Bryce said over the phone and hung up. Joey sat there and looked at some things on his phone, including a video on how to make a house out of sticks and mud. Suddenly, he heard his front door getting knocked on. Bryce, I'm in here, come in. When he heard the front door slowly open, he heard heavy footsteps and a strange sniffing sound. Smells like duty calls. What the fuck? Joey yelled and started to go white from fear. He wished he locked his door now and a million thoughts were going through his head. His bathroom door flung open. And there stood an ugly, balding, bearded man with a creepy face and a handful of toilet paper. Joey screamed, I'm the wiper. Come here. No, no, get away. Joey fell off the toilet and the wiper began to wipe him. Oh, help. Joey cried out as he felt his ass being massaged by the wiper's filthy hands. I was just like you, Joey. I needed mine wiped and nobody was there for me. Get the fuck off of me. Joey ran out of the bathroom with his pants around his ankles and the wiper flushed the toilet. Isn't that better, he said with a smile. Now get out of my fucking house now. You only get one favour from the wiper. Next time I will not come. At that moment, Bryce walked in the house with toilet paper. He tried to speak, but nothing came out. All he saw was Joey's shitty ass cheeks. And then he back out with a, there's your toilet paper, Joey, and ran off. The wiper came closer to Joey. The wiper never forgets those in need. Get out, now. The wiper does as you wish, but first I must finish the job! He grabbed Joey's ass again. He grabbed Joey again and started wiping his ass furiously. The wiper obviously wanted the job well done and he started eating the toilet paper to dispose of it. You gross bitch! Joey yelled. Go away right now, I'm clean! Goodbye, so long. Joey. The wiper jumped out the window and escaped. Joey never saw him again. His one favour was used up. The wiper is Walter Wipe. No, sorry. The wiper is Walter White. I am the one who wipes Walter White.
Walter wiped.
Now, Mega Man vs.
What the-
Mechanite. It's something you hear about all the time with entertainment industry.
No.
franchise deals that fell through. Did you know there was almost Nintendo PlayStation ones? I'm sure we'd both be surprised at what else has been in the works. They never even made it for press circuit. I must say, I'd be hard to top my most recent discovery. DreamWorks, bit of an interesting studio. Some regard them as a company that always lags just a bit behind Pixar in the quality department. While others seem to think that DreamWorks actually produces better films than Pixar, since DreamWorks offerings tend to play things a bit less safe, diving into more mature themes. You probably know DreamWorks for the much beloved Shrek franchise, or maybe How to Train Your Dragon, but it was much harder to get eyes on the movie Megamind, with films from other studios like Tangled and Scott Pilgrim vs. World releasing at the same time. The film flew somewhat under the radar, especially since Illumination's Despicable Me came out just months before, and practically promoted itself with the wave of Minions caught on. Megamind Rev's movie on a select few truly appreciate, but you might want to brace yourself for what I'm about to tell you next. There is almost a short promotional film made to get more eyes on Megamind, one that involves the strangest crossover you'll ever hear about. Megamind vs. Mac Tonight. I'll say it again. Megamind vs. Mac fucking Tonight. Yes, Mac Tonight, McDonald's mascot from the 80s, with a big moon head and sunglasses. DreamWorks almost teamed up with McDonald's of all people to promote Megamind by having him do battle with Mac Tonight. I'm a writer for a little online website that's going to go unnamed for now. My boss has all sorts of connections to industry stuff, and since she tapped me to write an article on franchise partnerships, took a dirt nap, got me access to a lot of interesting stuff. And above and beyond, the Megamind Mac Tonight crossover was what caught my attention the moment I saw it. I mean, that's reasonable. Film must have really been keeping this shit under wraps, since I'm pretty sure no one ever has heard of it. The short film would have been away from McDonald's bringing Mac Tonight back, and for Megamind to get more promotion. Apparently, it was scrapped because McDonald's decided they didn't want to tarnish the Mac Tonight character any further after certain internet videos surfaced. They agreed to produce it only if Mac Tonight was explicitly shown as the hero and Megamind as the villain, which DreamWorks disapproved of due to the ending of Megamind turning the character into more of a hero of sorts, so the deal was dropped and the project scrapped. Here's where things start to get weird. Apparently by the time the project was scrapped, the entire short film had nearly been finished. The DreamWorks team was pretty pissed about their hard work going to waste, so they made some changes to the film and released it online on some shady website. It only stayed up for about 15 minutes before being taken down by McDonald's. I didn't know exactly what changes those angry employees made, but my boss did. He told me it was, quote, time to bring the whole instance to light. He handed me a disc with film burned onto it. Wait, I asked. You've seen this? You have it? My boss nodded. Yeah, I've seen it. I was one of the only lucky bastards who ever did. Screen recorded it before Marcus took it down. Nobody really gave a shit when it leaked, except me, that is. Now it's your responsibility. Think about it, Marcus. A story that exposes a massive company like this. This could be what we've been waiting for. Put it on the map. Yeah, I guess you're right. I said I was took DVD somewhat reluctantly. I'll see what kind of story I come up with. That's to a kid. My boss, I walked off with a DVD to investigate. I went home and put the disc into my player. Alright, let's see what this is all about, I said, bracing myself. Next time I began to fade into the screen as the old jingle played. It was just like the original. All the lyrics were the same. The melody was still to the tune of the song. Mac the Knife. I am gonna move the hunter to cover the bottom half of this screen for now. I am gonna make that bigger to hide the text, because I am scared about what we're about to see. Okay. I was worried this was going to go down a racist route. I'm glad it didn't.
Why?
Because they've already made reference to Moon Man. Right. However, Mac seemed to be having issues remembering how the song went. He kept fucking up and restarting. When the clock strikes 6:30 bit, Suddenly Mac looked straight into the screen, said, "Fuck this," in a much deeper voice than usual and started dropping deuces by accident as he knocked over his piano and began flinging his hands in the air and throwing up gang signs. I heard some guys screaming, cut, cut, over and over again, but the scene wouldn't fucking cut, it just kept playing, just kept fucking rapping. At one point, Mac started grabbing his own throat, making weird choking noises. Gag on my massive burgers, bitch, Mac fucking screamed, before some fucking extra literally leapt onto the set with a massive fucking metal pipe and smashed Mac over the head with it. Bits and pieces of Mac's head went flying everywhere as he fell off the fucking set. Suddenly a loud disembodied voice yelled, "Mort!" and everything cut to black. What the fuck? I hadn't seen Megamind. I'm sitting in a chair looking at a large screen playing a broadcast of Mac Knight's massive freakout. That guy's a fucking asshole, Megamind said as he dumped a bag of chips into his mouth. Did Mac Knight just say fuck? Actually, back up a minute. Did Mac Knight say bitch? What the hell was the cursing about? Suddenly, Mac Knight's head started morphing back into place as he put on a fucking death ray and started blasting extremely gory holes through people like it was a fucking Invincible episode or something. Oh fuck no, Mega Man yelled, "Hey Minion, we gotta go." Minion, who was well, Mega Man's Minion appeared. "Oh my god, it's fucking Moon Man," he said. "What? No, Minion, that's Mac Knight, the McDonald's guy." I'm pretty sure that's Minion began before Mega Man cut him off. "Minion, shut the fuck up, we can't talk about that shit, Minion. It's fucking Mac Knight, and we are going to call him Mac Mo-fucking Tonight." "Got it," said Minion. "Mac Mo-fucking Tonight." "But you said Mo-fucking..." "No Mo-fucking," repeated Megamind. "What if that's his real name?" said Minion. "Do you think they'd call it McDonald's or Mo-fucking..." "Minion, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you, but we gotta go."
What is this?
We cut back to Mac Tonight, wreaking absolute fucking havoc everywhere before Megamind and Minion burst through the ground. "Who the fuck are you, you fucking jackbuck?" Mac Tonight screamed fuckingly. "You little chump, huh? You a chump, a chump-ass chump? Well, I'm gonna chump you and your little fushball fuck here, just in time for dinner at McDonald's, bitch." Okay, I've got it up on a second screen so I can scroll down a bit, make sure there's no like slurs or anything because I am seriously concerned.
The fucking Moon Man fear.
Mac Tonight suddenly started fucking driving his piano like a motherfucking car and shooting missiles out of it before flying it into the sky like a fucking spaceship. "Shit, Minion, duck!" yelled Megamind. "A duck? Where's it? No, there is no duck, you dense ass fuck. I mean, get down, you fucking clown." "Ooh," said Minion.
This fucking writing.
Before the missile hit him in the fucking back and destroyed his desert of armor, bursting his little fish ass out of the ball. Megamind versus Mac Tonight, but if it was written by Fizzy Pop. We see Mac Tonight flying his piano to Ann Arbor, Michigan for some fucking reason. Fuck it, second screen. I'm just searching for every slur I can think of to make sure there's none. But okay, it doesn't look like there's any there. "Time to do the most despicable shit," Max Knight said as he passed by the University of Michigan. I don't know how to describe it. Considering Max Knight's face really only has one expression, but he looked sinister. Max Knight jumped off his piano, smashed through the window of some random fucking lecture hall, and started rapping again. "Michigan, where your dreams go to die. Michigan, wanted hope you're out of time. Michigan..." What the fuck? Screamed a fucking stats professor who had been lecturing in the room. "Those motherfuckers at MSU sent you, didn't they?" "Fucking MSU, biatch, some kind of menstrual production room." Mac yelled as he attempted to stop laughing once more. The professor yelled, "That's it!" Fucking leapt on him and tackled him to the ground, screaming, "Get the fuck out of my classroom," over and over. The students, who are already fucking half asleep, because that's just what going to U of M does to a bitch, didn't even fucking care. Mac came in place for stats on the class whiteboard with a graph about U of M's reputation as a fucking party school before yelling, "New assignment, class, burn this motherfucker down." We cut to Mac Tonight and a bunch of drunk college kids sitting on Mac's flying piano and zooming through the school, blasting fucking cannonballs everywhere as the instrumental track of Infinite Stream from Sonic Forces played.
What are you fucking mean?
A picture of Sonic fighting appeared on the screen for like half a second, but that might have honestly just been a fucking hallucination. Mega Man finally fucking popped up with a comically oversized gun and said, "Alright, Moon Pie, time to fucking moon die." Music stopped. You know what that's supposed to come up with? Oh, sorry, that's supposed to fucking come up with? So Mac Knight, as he pulled a fucking gun out from behind his sunglasses. Fuck, how did you feel that back there? Hey, fuck you, man, Minion, who's now piloting what appeared to be a fucking hopeless drama set. I thought I killed your fish ass, yelled Mac Knight. I'm gonna serve a fucking filet of fucking fish with you as the fucking fish. Bitch. The dialogue in this film was not particularly good. Even ignoring sound for a moment, most of his scenes felt like ad-lib bullshit from a couple of 12-year-olds. I'm gonna serve a filet of fish with you as a fish. Really? That was the best the writers could do? Never mind when fucking pole vaulted into the air, without a massive gun and shot Max Knight right in the face, causing weird black blood and bits of sunglasses to go flying everywhere. That hurt, you fucking cock, Max screamed as he started trying to beat Mega Man to death with the fucking piano key. The camera zooms out, and we see that all of this is occurring inside of the U of M cafeteria. Some students eating when some Mac Knight comes fucking flying into the tables, knocking food everywhere, and it's going for soda machine. Blasting fucking loose soda outside and all the fucking floor, and several people. Mountain Dew, Max says in a computerized voice. Mega Man started fucking ranting about vaccines. He pulled out a container called Liquid AIDS out of a soda machine and shoved it down Max Knight's throat. Are you fucking kidding me? Man, right during Pride Month, Max screamed as he kickflipped Mega Man halfway across the U of M campus as that shit collapsed like the fucking World Trade Center. Mega Man fired his lungs out and died. Mega Man, no! Screamed Minion as he came out of nowhere and stuck a new pair of lungs up Mega Man's ass, reviving him. Thank you, Minion. Crapping out my lungs would have been quite the shitty ending, said Mega Man as he looked into the screen and winked. We then randomly cut to a fucking commercial for Romano's Macaroni Grill, but the raid staff were a fucking army of Mac Knights who moved disturbingly robotically. One of Mac Knights attempted to serve some couple of their food, but he dropped a fucking plaster pattern on the floor and sprayed cheesy fucking sauce all over himself. Hey, you gonna get us a new plate? Said the guy at the table. Mac just fucking stared at the guy soundlessly. Don't give that up, man. I'm not paying for that, the guy yelled. I just kept fucking staring.
Oh no.
Is this funny to you? You want to lose your job, do you? Michael, calm down. Yana's girlfriend or whatever. As Mac just kept fucking staring, his head slowly cocking to the side. Fucking asshole. Again, man, as he knocked back to the floor and footage cut out as the beginning of the scream was heard. The Macaroni Grill logo appeared, but the M in macaroni was McDonald's M, and the logo now said Macaroni Grill. And we cut to a literal fucking cow in a field talking about how Amy Schumer is a
Hold on, what?
I agree with the cow.
We
But why
cut
is
to a
this
literal
relevant?
cow in a field talking about how Amy Schumer isn't.
How the fuck was the cow talking? Cows don't fucking talk. Was this CGI? Such fucking bullshit. Such fucking shit. The cow then says, "My ass is a circus and you're the clown." Brought fucking 5 drops of fucking hair out of its ass and milking the fucking plant life. Dead motherfucking birds began to fall from fucking sky and race the stems. After night, then blew in on his funnel and started shoving the cow into some kind of fucking meat machine as he began to crack a comically upside pepper shaker onto the mate. He then began to sing to the tune of a Friends theme. So no one told you life was gonna be this way.
Oh my god.
If they taught sex in school, my dick would get an A. I jam black beans into your VCR, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. And your bitch is stuck in Shit's Creek because I'm a fucking beast. The notorious MAC. I bombed the Middle East like you wouldn't believe.
Oh my
1
god.
+ 1 is 2. Hold on, I want to check for. I'm just going to check for this.
Again, we have to keep
Warren.
Okay. Because I'm a fucking beast, the notorious MAC. I bombed the Middle East like you wouldn't believe. 1 + 1 is 2. Whoo! Ah, fuck, I screamed at the end of my fucking ears. Just what I thought Mac was doing. You got a fucking second verse. So no one told you that your mom's a fucking hoe. I think Santa Claus should get some fucking blow. But Mrs. Claus has made it very clear that Santa Claus is only supposed to come once a fucking year. Oh. The X-Men are real. It's a dumb fucking deal. Bowser and Mario singing drugs for Brooklyn. No. I'll be there for you. Ooh.
Also from Mario.
The scream was so fucking loud that I was beginning to believe someone was going to call fucking cops to my place. Why the fuck is the movie so Mac Knight centric? Why the fuck was Mega Man? Have seen just Mac Knight being a fucking dick. Is it fucking cute? Mega Man burst out of the ground, straight through Mac's fucking piano, spraying keys and wood and strings and shit everywhere. The entire scene was in slow motion and shot from so many fucking dramatic angles that I was beginning to wonder if Zack fucking Snyder directed it. Mac! Mega Knight screamed as he pulled out a massive machine gun and repeatedly blasted Mac Knight directly in the face. Eventually, Minion come out of absolutely fucking nowhere, grab Mac Knight, and fucking backflip into the air with him as he screamed, "Believe this, motherfucker!" Minion came crashing down on the ground with Mac, breaking Mac's fucking neck and shattering his moon head in little pieces. The nightmare was over. The next scene was just a black screen accompanied by the sound of someone loudly knocking on the door before it disconnected itself out of my DVD player and broke. I've had it with these fucking lousy crossovers.
Let's read every comment.
I'm not actually going to go further than that. Because I think if I go far enough back, someone will just post Moonman lyrics, and they're not good. They're not good. I don't want to show those on stream at all if I can avoid it. I'm shocked there wasn't a slur in there.
Huh.
They got a line in about bombing the Middle East. But, like, that's tame compared to what I expected as soon as they start making so many Moonman references.
It just cuts to a cow in a field talking about how Amy Schumer isn't funny. And then just randomly goes, my ass is a circus. You're the clown.
I just looked at the time. When the fuck did that happen?
It's 11 o'clock.
I'm gonna do one more, I think.
Mr. Beast tricked me.
Hold on, I'm gonna look for more. I'm looking for something wild. Eminem, I like the sound of Evil ChatGPT. I like the sound of Eminem Buried Alive.
What about Regular Show? There's one just called Regular Show.
Wait, what? Regular Show. Okay. Regular Show is about a kid named Chris. Chris loves cartoons, but soon got into creepypasta. Started out with him reading Filled with Suicide, which a friend sent him a link to, which soon grew into so much more. Probably knew it, he had read every Theory Lost episode, literally everything to do with Jeff Killer or Slenderman. Eventually, he had grown a full-scale addiction. He just started out as him trying to write creepypasta articles. He didn't do much progress, but kept trying. In time, he started purposely imagining Jeff Killer standing behind him, or Slenderman hiding in every shadow and tree. Almost like if he was preparing his brain for something insane to happen. And this made him jumpy. Every noise behind him gave him shivers. All of this was the safe part, and after a while he was still seeing the faces. But now they weren't intentional. Every now and then he'd see Jeff's face from a crowd of people. Most people would grab hands, his view of Squidward was permanently set to his face and Squidward with suicide. It was pure insanity. At some point, his mother caught onto this. Due to the fact that he was distant, jumpy, and started talking to himself, so she took him to a doctor, prescribed nothing more than some pills and some well-needed sleep. First it worked, but it didn't take long to make his condition worse. He started to freak out more when he could see ghostly faces every time he shut off lights. On a really bad trip, he ran away from home and collapsed in the woods about a mile away from his house. In his unconscious state, he had an insane dream in which everything was a cartoon. Mordecai and Rigby were fought up because he saw a bird and a raccoon that ran past him just before he passed out. They both symbolise him in different ways, yet both are labelled slackers, but the fact that Mordecai always tries to get Rigby to stop his crazy ideas, Mordecai is his conscience, and Rigby is his sad spot all his crazy ideas. Benson represents his father, who would always try to make him do work and get him to do more than sit around watching cartoons. The Gumball Machine represents a Gumball Machine his father gave him once for Christmas, the only real gift ever given from his dad.
Full-ass Gumball Machine.
I'm sure you expect Margaret to symbolise the girl he liked, and that liked him back, but he was never able to ask out because of his condition. Wrong. She actually represents his sister. Not for the reasons you'd think, though, but because she was more successful, more outgoing, she even had a job at a local coffee shop. Chris idolized his sister and would do anything to impress her. Muscleman represents a friend, Mitch, that he had before he started losing his mind. The friend would always hit him, push him around, basically make him his bitch. The whole my mom thing is because Mitch would always make your mom jokes to literally everyone. But once got it wrong and said my mom, and it became this whole ridicule towards him. High Five Ghost was kind of like Mitch's sidekick. He always high five Mitch after he made his your mom jokes. But would usually not say much. The reason High Five Ghost is a ghost is because Mitch's sidekick in real life committed suicide because of the death of his father, which explains in the episode Took a Hall of Fame Bedrock Hall of Fame. Then she tells Mordecai and Rigby that at Musselman's father's funeral, High Five Ghost doesn't hand off his sort of thing. This in consideration of Musselman's father being dead. Skips represents Chris' older brother, much like his realised brother. Skips would regularly work out. Skips was the strongest man ever. He also believed that Skips would never die. Pops represents Chris's pedophile grandfather. That's why he has a somewhat cliche pedophile high-pitched voice. He played childhood games with Chris, which led to the unspeakable. In Chris's head, Pops was a lollipop for obvious yet sick reasons.
For fuck's sake!
It always.
How do you look at the character of Pops and get that?
I don't know.
He's just
That
a
time
traditional-
Nick Avocado broke into my house at 3 a.m. I'm going to read it, then I'll finish up. Because this is a short one. I'm pretty sure everyone on the internet knows about Nick Avocado. For those who don't, he's a massive glutton who consumes ludicrous amounts of food, usually Takis, screams and cries a lot, and has been known to have a toxic relationship with his boyfriend Olin. He also broke into my house at 3 a.m. one time, which is where this terrifying true tale begins. It was a usual Friday night. I was playing Gears of War and chatting with my friend Mason while eating some applesauce. Memphis was not my fun, but dangerous criminals in my area. He broke into over 69 houses and had viciously guzzled down over food. He was obese, wore a reed shirt, and had black hair. I knew immediately it was Nick Avocado. I quickly rushed into my room and boarded the window so that he wouldn't break in. I also barricaded my door in case he tried to come in. I figured I'd just sleep through the whole thing. Then, at 3 a.m., I awakened to a loud sound. I went out of my room with a flashlight and I saw a familiar red powder from Taki's scattered all over the place. When I saw him, he was going full raccoon mode on Taki's, chewing with his mouth open and sticking his head into a bag. He then saw me and began emitting his signature sound of shh. I was so petrified I threw my flashlight at him, where he began to let out his annoying cry of eee. He then got mad and stood up and charged towards me, which was both impressive and scary considering he could still move like that, even if he was so fat. I remember retreating into my backyard and hiding in the bushes. For a good 2 minutes I thought I was safe. Then Nick Ricardo grabbed his scooter and literally drove through the glass door, causing glass to explode everywhere. He then said if it wasn't water weight, could I have done that? He was driving towards me like crazy until I had to jump over the brick fence and run into the streets. I fell asleep on the sidewalk, knowing that I was safe. And that concludes this terrifying true story where Nick Ricardo Avocado broke into my house. I'm really curious about Mr. Beast one too. Oh, this is short too. Howdy. My name is Bill Thomas. I'm homeless and I'm also pissed off. Want to know why? Okay, I'll tell you the whole story. Jimmy McDonaldson, I think he goes by Mr. Beast or something, I don't know, and his camera crew began to set up near where I was begging for change. I walked over to him with a plastic cup of ready and asked him if he had some cheddar for an old fella like myself. He didn't even the first time, I was just nervous, I asked again. Then he said to me, "Oh my god, can you shut the fuck up? Stop asking me for change, I'm trying to do my sound check." I felt like punching him, but it's like backed up, shocked, and started walking away. Then I noticed his boom mic was all ready to go and the camera was rolling. And he walked up to me instead. "You made a real show about me?" I started me, knowing what was going to happen. "Yeah, I'm going to be helping this man here. What's your name?" "My name is Bill." "Bill? Okay, it's nice to meet you, Bill. I felt like doing a leap in the air. It must have been some philanthropist filming this account for a show or something. I was ready to take whatever you had. I'm going to give you a choice, Bill." Jimmy said to me, holding out a check in a prison box. "Do you want a check? Oh, the wonderful mystery box." Just went around my head. Wouldn't have been red, but then again, it's probably filling me with a bigger prize inside the box. I'll take the box. I tried to play. I think I made the right choice. Little did I know I was wrong and I'd been wrong. Jimmy chuckled at me as I opened the present. Inside was a single bar of show. Jimmy's chuckle turned into a maniacal laugh. Him and his camera crew pointed at me, making fun of me. But I took the bar of soap and shoved it into his mouth. "That's for staying, fuck you, fucker!" I shouted, running away with tears in my eyes. I never saw Mr. Beast again. Some people say it was a prank. Some people say it wasn't for real Mr. Beast. But I know it was. Soon, I'll get my revenge. Hold on, this is written by Meaty. They wrote a lot of what was the other one they wrote that we've read?
Honey, I killed the audience.
Skibidi Toilet is real? Oh, they wrote Viper. The Comer? Okay, what's... Oh, Skibidi Toilet as well. I'm not a crazy man. At least I'm 78% sure that I'm not a crazy man. The other 22% of my confidence was lost when I discovered a terrible secret, but it scarred me for the rest of my life. Want another little secret? Okay, I'll be honest with you. Give it a try, it's not just a meme. It's real. People laugh about it, they make jokes about it. I think it's so fucking funny. A head coming out of a toilet? That's completely outrageous. What a laugh. What does skibbity even mean anyway? Sound like a word used by idiots with a 7 million day streak of being a virgin. Anyway, and what made me want to tell the internet that the skibbity toilet is real? Well, there was a little incident that happened in my bathroom last night around 3 AM Eastern Standard Time. I was going to take a big long piss, as I often do. I drink a lot of water. And all of a sudden I hear a strange song start playing deep within my toilet. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. What the hell was that music? It started getting louder. Want to see you work your body, so give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Then a man's head popped out of my toilet and took a bite out of my cock. A big, juicy bite. I was never the same again. Not quite as good as the wiper. But come on. Something's in your house. Something's alive. You're the only one home, right? No, you're not. Something's there. You keep hearing it. Here I come. Here I come. It sounds like a faint voice outside your house. Here I come. It's getting louder now. Here I come. The voice sounds like it's down the hallway. Here I come. Here I come. The voice. It's right outside your room. I have come. I have come.
At your
Silence.
house.
Your door opens wide.
This really does feel
I
like
have
Drunkard.
come for you. If you're reading the story to your friend, you're supposed to kill them as you scream the last line.
Okay, that was good. That one's really, really good. This one is just Crunkid.
I get the
I was getting the
vibe.
exact same fucking Crunkid feeling.
I get the vibe that Meaty just makes ones because so this is the troll pass. The stuff on this is either stuff that was put on a legit creepypasta wiki and was really fucking bad, or stuff that was intentionally made to be bad. And I think all of Meaty's stuff is falling into like the latter category, where it's made as a joke. I'm tired of your fucked up antics, a Wiki contributor. Why don't you sign in and say that to my face? A random Wiki user picked his shotgun up, blasting a Wiki contributor in the ass at least 20 times. He died. Then there are more of them. I promise out how. But Lucario mysteriously appeared, and with me a sight of him giving the finger made for Wiki contributors ejaculated death in unison, spurting over 1,000 gallons of white stuff. So whatever happened? And who was the mad scientist behind the Wiki contributor cloning machine? Or is it all the same guy? Is he still alive? Is he? OMG, he's got me. Lucario, flip him off quick. I died at that part, so that's the end of the story.
Why don't you sign it and say that to my face?
I need to seep.
Alright, I'm probably
It's never gonna end.
There's an AVGN one too, which there's a picture associated at least.
It's just his mouth.
I'm a long-time fan of the Angry Video Game Nerd. If any of you are familiar with him, for those of you unfamiliar, he's a salty internet game critic who specialises in making over-the-top reviews, but are terrible by today's standards or just flat-out shit. Let me get to the point here. I've been subscribed to this guy since day one, and he's always seemed to pump out quality content, but I saw last week still has me shivering. I was scrolling through my YouTube subscriptions and all of a sudden I noticed a video that been uploaded by Cinemassacre called AVGN Game Over, and it had many views already. The video thumbnail just showed what appeared to be hands illuminated in a dark room in poor quality. Out of curiosity, I clicked the video and saw that it started out with nearly 10 seconds of black and then cut immediately to a 240p video of Rolf sitting at a desk, looking like he had one too many and was dirty. Peculiar red stains on his shirt and his eyes were bloodshot. I just finished Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, he said, looking directly into the camera lens, his one bloodshot eye filling up the whole screen. He laughed maniacally, laying his head down on the table. Suddenly, in the background, Mike Matei walked up behind him, looking genuinely terrified beside James. You okay, James? What happened? What the hell happened? Are you shooting a video? Here, let me hold the laptop. As Mike left and stepped back, holding it to his own face, James was making very strange mumblings. almost evil in nature. He started laughing again. Mike turned the camera back to James, the nerd stumbled out of his chair and brandished a knife and started approaching Mike. What are you doing? Hey! Mike screamed, and the screen was shaking, and I couldn't see what was happening. The camera regained focus. Mike was running upstairs. The video kind of went into a deep blood-red filter. In fact, it appeared as if blood was oozing out of my screen. I heard disturbing, distorted noises that were freaking me out as the camera kept shaking around as he ran forward. He was in some kind of cramped space, looking at the camera, and his hands were illuminated in the dark like in the video. I don't know what happened to James, but someone, please. Then I heard a sound. I didn't know what it was, but when I heard Mike screaming as he was dragged out of sight. The nerd's face appeared again, even worse in comparison to earlier. He looked as if he was the one becoming Hyde. But for the record, he was so scary looking that I had legitimately shat my pants. He made non-distinct growlings and a terrible sound buzz started coming out of my headphones. I started to feel sick, as if fear was corrupting me as well. Following view, a transformed nerd walked out of view, buzzing still getting louder, leaving just an empty room illuminated by the laptop's glow. This was almost all the video had left for another 3 minutes. But I could have sworn I saw something flash by after about 2 minutes. The video then ended on the still shot. I was shocked. Scrolled down to the comments. But it said comments to the service with the ratings I showed almost universal dislike. I went to bed, I had nightmares for the next week. Some of the nightmares were me following Mike through the house. I screamed, "No, Mike, no!" And then I woke up in a cold sweat. One of the nights I screamed. I was playing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That one was pretty scary too. I tried looking at the video again tonight, but it was nowhere to be found. Nobody had any idea what I was talking about either. Does this mean I'm insane? Was the video not real?
I just finished Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and then the camera zooms in to your one bloodshot eye.
Hey, what a shitload of fuck!
Five Nights at Sea. Ooh. Thank you all for your support.
Yeah. Thank you all very much for watching. This was hell. In the end, I think we've learned something. Which is, if you're gonna look for bad creepypastas to read, look for them on the Trollpasta wiki and focus on the featured pastas section. Otherwise, as Anonymous user number 1 so eloquently put it, you are going to get a shitload of fuck. Can I just get the image? Oh, I like that image actually. I'm just going to zoom in on that to end. Thank you all very much for watching. And I will see you all next time.
In a bit.
I don't know if it'll be Wednesday. I don't know if it'll be next Sunday. Wednesday is Christmas Day, obviously, so probably not. But I'll see you then. Bye-bye.